There we go. We are live. Let me just check something real quick. Hopefully everything's good. I was playing around in some of my OBS settings, so I hope nothing is doing bad or by any chance. So that'd be good. But let's see. I'm trying to just look at some random stuff. Okay. So if I were to add, let's say, okay, I don't know if I can test that out right now, but okay. So we are live for the game tonight. Obviously, we have a pretty big one. We'll see what ends up happening in this game. Sup, WV, or nice that you can actually be here. That's pretty cool. See you here. Let's see. Oh, crap. I just dropped something. Oh, no. Okay, put that back. There we go. But, yep, we got the game starting, obviously, in about 15 minutes. A big game. We'll see who ends up getting the W in a game that obviously has some playoff impact. It's not like this game, like I said, technically can help decide the fate of DC, because depending on how this game goes, DC might actually clinch the playoffs tomorrow, but we'll see. You know, it's sort of a wait and see. I also have, like, a funny idea I want to see if I can test right now, because I just got something in the mail. So, bear with me while I test this out, while people are still joining. Oh, crap, this thing is huge. Oh, crap, this thing is huge. I did not realize it was this big. Okay, chat. I got... okay, so I'm gonna do this tomorrow. This is bigger than I thought it was. Okay, I was gonna put something in the background, but it's... Dude, this is so big. Yes! Luis Perez is starting tonight. Thank God. I don't got, as I've said on Twitter and on, I think, Spring Into Football, thank God. Harrison Frost is off my TV screen. That was some of the worst football I've had to watch in a while. Thank God he's gone. So, huge victory there. Love to see that. We will see how he plays. Yes, Perez is the starter. I'm so glad to see him start. Like I said, this Battlehawks team, to be a real championship threat, needed a change at quarterback. And they have changed their quarterback. So it's going to be great. But we will see what ends up happening with Perez today. I think it should be good, but we will see. Yes, this is what you guys needed for sure. Play GTA in real Pittsburgh yesterday. It was legit crime street. Oh my God. That's a maybe. That seems pretty crazy. That's actually crazy. Let me see. I think I figured out how to do this. I'm just... It would be funny if I could pull this off, but I don't know if I could do this. Should I go F it? I mean, we got like 10 minutes before the game starts. Should I try to set this up real quick? I don't know. I got to put the poll for who you guys think is going to win tonight. Who wins? And I almost just put that as a regular chat. Streaming for over a year, by the way. Who wins? St. Louis or Columbus? And there we go. Yes, UFC 328 is is this weekend. Big W. Very excited for that. We will see. Low-key, I really don't care who wins the main event. Not even gonna lie with you, I kind of don't care either way. I'm not a big Shemaev or Strickland fan, so I could really care less who wins. But we'll see. Are we having a laugh? Oh, crud. Oh, I think I got this. I got this now. Okay, chat, I'm figuring this out. Oh, God. I'm not figuring this out. And my camera... Oh, come on, camera. Why you gotta do this to me? Why you gotta... Oh, cringe. Oh, come on, camera. Why you gotta unfocus? Okay. Well, we're gonna... For some even better streams. This... Dude, I thought this was, like, so much smaller than it actually is. I'm not even joking. This was supposed to not be, like, this big. It also doesn't help that, like, I do not have a true streamer chair or, like, a gaming chair, so, like, this thing is super wide, so I honestly don't even know if I can actually reach this around. I don't think I can, but I might be able to. Oh, I might. Holy crap. Come on, I'm so close. Oh god, this is terrible. Not really. I don't think this is gonna work, guys. I gotta change my chair at some point. It's like, it's only standing up because my door for my closet is right there. By the way, for those of you questioning this, the game starts in 8 minutes. If I can't get this set up by then, I'm just not gonna worry about it. But like, I don't think I can fit this around because how my chair is. Let me see if I move this like here, maybe. If I move this down here, guys, it has to go around. So I have this set up here. I can push this around to here. Midway through there. I don't want this knocking anything over. Got a bunch of stuff back there that I don't want to knock it over. Yeah, I think I'm cooked. Okay, what if I have an idea. I have a funny idea that might work, it might not, but this is the last gasp chance, or else I'm going to have to get another chair at some point in the future. I'm going to try to put this, like, in a really weird spot. Yeah, no, this ain't working. Okay. Not working. Okay. It is what it is. I will have to get a upgraded chair. Okay. Cannot use that. Shame. Big L, it is what it is. Now I gotta figure out how to fold that again. But hey, game starts in about 5 minutes. Poll is up, so you think's gonna win the game. Now, for those of you that have not seen the post that I talked about, some of you may be asking, how the hell can DC clinch already? If DC wins this game against the Kings, they will get a record that the Kings cannot reach. Now, the DC Defenders have already beaten both the Gamblers and the Stallions once. They only play both those teams one time. So they have head-to-head advantage over those two teams, meaning that if they win this week, it does not matter how that other game goes. Because they win, it guarantees that they are going to be a playoff team. Well, it guarantees they have the same record, hence they break tiebreaker. That means that the only other game they need to have go their way is this one. If Columbus loses and DC wins, they are a playoff team. So we will see if that does in fact end up happening. But that is how the cookie crumbles for this one, in terms of how you make that happen. So we will see how it ends up going, but that's how it goes. So yeah, okay. Man, I'm like not good at folding stuff whatsoever. But yeah, that's how it ends up working out in terms of how the tiebreaker situation ends up going. So we'll see if it ends up actually happening. You know, do we actually see a team clinch this week? Maybe, maybe not. It'd be cool if we do, but we'll see. Gotta wait for that. So yeah. Dude, I really should not have taken this out without having this actually work for sure. Okay. Okay, I've got a giant shadow in here now. My shadow. But yeah, that's how it works. So that's how the playoffs ended up working. That is the only clinching scenario. There is no physical way for any other team to clinch this week, whether it be eliminating from the playoffs or making the playoffs. It is only DC that can clinch. Naturally, that's pretty much just because of how tiebreakers work and the fact that you have this huge tie at the bottom of the leaderboard. DC has such an advantage over everybody else, it's actually crazy. And so, yeah, that's how it works. But we'll see what happens in the future. Okay. Yes, we'll see what happens there. Now I'm going to put these up on my background tab. The scores of the game. Okay. But we'll see. Pull this up over here. Got that stuff. I did tweet that. Yes, I did tweet that big W. Okay, got all that. Yes, I do. Good, good, good. Okay, got that. Yes, looking at everything is good right now. Love to see that. Fox UFL Friday, baby. For some reason, I thought there was I think there was one post the UFL put out. I don't know why. I think there was one thing they put out where they actually made it seem like this game was on FS1. I don't know if you guys saw what I'm talking about or know what I'm talking about, but I think that was something that happened. But looks like that's not the case, thank God. But it is what it is. Sup, Sector? Sup, Formath? Hey, we'll see what Perez does. It'll be interesting for sure. For DC main players, they need to win and have either... No, yeah, for Formath. They only need the one thing to happen. So, yeah, let me do... I think it's called dad math, right? Even though I'm not a dad. The chair width is, about... yay big. I can barely fit on here. So, it's a wide chair. That's what I mean. This is not, a typical desk, office, gamer chair. This is, a regular-ass chair. So, the back... It's not just that it's a long back, it's a big back. It's also a solid, this is how thick it is. So to fit this thing on there without super stretching it's crazy, especially because I have a display thing right next to it, makes it very awkward. To where I think I can get it to work if I really wanted to, but granted, I not only lost the battle of putting it on this chair, I lost the battle of folding it. I literally have this sitting right next to me and it's going to be stuck like this till at least halftime, and then round two, right? Round two, oh, that's right, I forgot to add this. Oh, I forgot to add this. Okay, I'm not going to show this. I gotta... Yes, okay. How can I move this out of getting... There we go, okay. Round two, I gotta add this. I forgot. This is what I needed to add. We gotta put... Whoa. No, why is it so small? Okay, there we go. This fits... we did have a big fight happen yesterday. It was round two. There we go. We will put... there's a lot of people that talk about the big Yahoo is, the dictator of the world. Nah, this guy right here, that's the #1 dictator in the world right there. Yes, Adam, I do got a green screen now. It's just that I can't put this on here. So either A, I got to figure out how to fit this on this chair, or B, I've got to get a new chair. Which, that's a problem for not today me, because for today I'm going to put this down over here and hope it stays there. But, yes, we had Valverde versus Tucciamani yesterday, round 2 of that fight, with him hitting a table on the back of his head. But, yeah. Or Gamblers make the playoffs. Oh, my God. So, nope. Nope, you missed me losing to a green screen. You missed that. I was going to put this image as... I was going to set up the green screen. I was going to put this image behind me. But I guess we'll put the dictator up there. He's always watching, right? I could put the Artabola meme of he's always watching or whatever, but yeah. Got the beginning stuff of the Aviators Battlehawks stuff playing right now. So we'll see what ends up happening. Let's increase the volume a little bit on my TV so I can actually hear it. Who even is that? The dictator! That's the dictator! Kylian Mbappe. That's the dictator right there. Some say he sicked his dog Tucciamani on Valverde. Some say he didn't. Hey, I'm not here to say which one. He's the dictator. Him versus the big Yahoo. That would be a battle of two dictators. Just remember, guys, if you don't know about this guy has more signatures on a petition to get him kicked out of Real Madrid than any human rights petition ever. That is not a joke, by the way. Go look that up. It has 40 million signatures to get him to have him leave Real Madrid. And that's one less than it should be because I haven't signed it yet, and I really should, but yeah. Marvin, we love the dedication. We got WV here usually coming in from his job at 9-1. Now we got you here in Pizza. I gotta love it. Hey, Big W. Hopefully you can either listen to some of it. We got to see Perez in his number 13 jersey for the Battlehawks, which looks weird, but we'll see. Pretty. It's just a bag. Gotta love it. When a new bag or box invades a cat's area, they have to go to it every time. Gotta love it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens tonight. Obviously, this game is in St. Louis. I know there was a big deal with Mike Rapoli. Some would say he kind of like threw a lot of shade under Battlehawks fans. He basically said only 18,000 tickets sold, and he like did it in a weird way. It was one of those where it was like sort of a double-handed thing. I get it, but like it is what it is. So yeah. But we'll see what the number ends up being. Obviously, it's not going to come out for a few hours, but it is what it is. Okay, fan set up there. Nice, Big W. Got it, okay. Deion Sanders, oh my gosh. Hey, he is being active, that is true, and he's not just, you know, hey, I mean, if you're a Stallions fan, you love seeing that sort of thing, because it shows he's not just, you know, hating on you guys, so at least there's that. But, yeah. Chiefs fans are pissed. Good old Chiefs. The Ricky Pearl bobbleheads, I forgot that was today. I gotta figure, like, I don't want to blow $80 on a chair. But, like, I gotta figure out what to do. Because, like, this chair has been rock solid for me for a minute. I don't want to get a new chair and have cats ruin it. But, like, yeah, it's so fat on the back. Like, in theory, if I were to, like, add something to the very top of it here, I think you just barely can't see it. If I add something to the top, I could do it. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. But we'll see. You know. Maybe at some point. Maybe in the future. Maybe by tomorrow. Let me look something up real quick. Share. Walmart. $130? Hell no, bro. I ain't no sicko for a $130 chair. Hell no. Getting Falcons share for 75, bro. No, I'm good. Office share is even expensive, bro. Like, dude, my setup is terrible. Like, I love my setup. I like my setup. Let me rephrase that. I like my setup, but man, my setup is rough. Like, the fact that I've got, like, the desks are all super high is another thing that really does suck about it. Okay, this got messed up a little bit. There we go. Are we really not grouping these together? Like, are we having a laugh, man? It's supposed to be grouped. They're not grouped. Okay, then. Now they're grouped, right? Yes, okay. But, like, so, like, my setup is so high. It's so much higher than normal because it's, like, a 2-story desk. So, like, my monitors are, like, high. Like, I have to have a chair that pushes me up. And it just makes everything so weird. Got Dick for a meal in the building. Love to see that. Super Bowl champion head coach, the greatest show on turf. Probably would have won that second Super Bowl if he was still their head coach, not going to lie. But it is what it is. Yeah, the green screen would have been W, but hey, that's a future me. We'll figure that out. I'll figure out how to do this at some point. I got no other chair to work. That's what I mean. Like, it'll be rough because this is one of those things. Like, if I set it up, I probably got to keep it there. I can't just take it down because of how big it is. But it is what it is. Yeah, Sean Perez led the league in passing yards the past 2 years and was reduced to the bench, and now it's looking like they really shouldn't have got rid of him. Looking really bad for those poor Renegades fans. They're now having to watch Austin Reed play quarterback for them, which a few weeks ago, that was a good thing to say. Now it's like almost as bad as saying you got to watch Harrison Frost play. Soccer stadium stuff is definitely going to be a big controversial topic. I know that's definitely going to be brought up mainly by Ricky, but we'll see what ends up happening. I mean, hey, we can see a playoff team get clinched this weekend, which is crazy to think about for sure. Kickoff is up. It is going to be recovered. Ooh, it's muffed out of bounds. That's really bad for the Aviators. They're going to get the ball back at the 3-yard line. Wow, okay, they're even being generous. They're calling it the 4-yard line, which is still pretty bad. But we'll see. Oh, my God. Yes, the King of Spring is back, Adrian. Love to see that. Pretty... I gotta be annoying so as soon as I start streaming. Okay, there we go. Fix the problem. So let's see what the Aviators do here. Are we gonna see reverse Dallas 2023? Probably. Probably is what we're gonna see. 1st and 10 for the Aviators. They're under center. Got 2 guys in the backfield behind McClendon. They hand it off first play, cuts inside, and it's a beautiful 7.5-yard rush. They might give him an 8th yard. Either way, great first down rush for the Aviators right there. Starts to fall apart already. Oh, that's the dictator. We got Kylian Mbappe, the dictator. Got it. He's always watching. Dude, when I woke up yesterday, I'll say this after this play. 2nd and 3, they gave him a pretty bad spot there. In shotgun, 3 receivers to the right. Ball is snapped. They hand it off, cuts to the left. Gets pushed back, still going. Ends up gaining by half a yard. When I woke up yesterday and I opened Twitter, the 3rd post I saw was Valverde being rushed to the hospital after getting into a fight with Tucci Amani. I sat there, I'm like, dude, what is this team, bro? What happened to the... It's like what happened in the game I love, except what happened to the team, bro. Like, dude, this is right after it was reported that Rudiger slapped another teammate. It's just, oh my God, bro. And then this guy getting the petition, 40 million signatures to get him kicked out of Real Madrid is great. Gotta love it. 3rd and 3 for the Columbus Aviators. Let's see if they can pull this off. In shotgun. Ball is snapped. They hand it off once again, and they're going to get the first down and then some to the 20. Cuts inside the 30. The 40. The 45, massive rush for Zaquandre White, or John Sullivan, my bad. Love it with the huge play right there. They did another run. That's 3 straight run plays, and again, it's just doing really good. This is the one thing I said in my game picks. The one reason I said this was going to be a close game is this Columbus Aviators ground game I do think is the best unit in the league. Yes, St. Louis is a great defense. It ain't as good as this Columbus rush offense. That was the one thing I said that was really going to be tough for St. Louis. But like I said, even if they played Frost, I still would have probably kept the same exact score. I think St. Louis wins. Again, the poll is still up, but if Columbus is going to win, it's by this. They hand it off again. Ooh, he breaks a tackle. He should have lost about 4 yards. He still lost a yard, but he only lost 1 yard right there. So that is now 4 straight rush plays for the Columbus Aviators. Well, we'll see again. Columbus, they've routinely had at least one drive that's 7.5 minutes long. They go and they take forever on their drives. That is the whole MO of this team. Take forever on every single drive that they do. 2nd and 11. In shotgun. Ball is snapped. They hand it off. Cuts to the right. He's getting pressured. Ooh, beautiful tackle in the backfield right there. Great tackle. Massive play right there for PETA with a massive, massive takedown right there. Love to see that. Third and 15, ball snapped. They run it again up the middle, and they gain about 5 yards on the carry. Oh my God, you gotta love that. They ran it again. Man, I know I said that this is the best part of this team, but that doesn't mean run the ball every damn play. That's crazy. Let's see. There we go. They really pulled the curve. Wilson just did. Now they're punting. Punt is up. It is going to be recovered at about the 12-yard line. Gets through the first couple of guys. Keeps going to 30. To 35. Taking down at about the 36-yard line. Really good return right there for the St. Louis Battlehawks. You know what, guys? It's time we see him. Luis Perez finally back out there. Get to see what he's going to do. We will see if he can pull this off. Let's see if Luis can do something. Sup, Steven? Another regular that missed my losing battle with the green screen. Yeah, we got the big game for the Aviators. Obviously, for those of you that have joined in the last, 5 minutes, I talked about this before the game. This is one of 2 games that actually has direct postseason implications. If Columbus loses, it means that DC can clinch a playoff spot by winning their game against the Louisville Kings tomorrow. DC needs to win and have Columbus lose because they already have tiebreakers over Birmingham and Houston, and if DC wins, there is no way that Birmingham or Houston can overtake them in the standings, though Columbus still technically could, hence why they need Columbus to lose today. So Defenders fans, reluctantly, you should be rooting for the Battlehawks, which is a tough pill to swallow, but it's a true pill to swallow. Unless you want to risk not making it, which obviously you're gonna, but you know what I mean. So we'll see. Better look like Prime Brady. Dude, even if he looks like Mac Jones, that's still going to be better than what they had. Man, even Mac Jones, that's a dig at Mac Jones, man. He just has to... Do I dare say that Coleridge would be better? 2026 Coleridge Stroud was better than Harrison Frost? I don't know. I don't know if I can go that deep. 2020 Mac Jones. Hey, was that the one year he was good, or was that the year he was bad? You know what? I'll call him Patriots Cam Newton. Patriots Cam Newton still had a little bit left in the tank, but still wasn't, what he used to be. If Perez is that, easy win for the Battlehawks, in theory, considering they don't have Harrison Frost anymore. All right, I like to call him the Anchor, right? I've given 18 nicknames. I called him the Hakeem Butler Merchant. Now I call him the Anchor. A year is good. Yeah, hey, Mac Jones was good 2 years. He was also pretty good as a rookie year. Oh, that's right. That it was a rookie year, dude. Sometimes I think guys have been in the league longer than they have, and sometimes I think it's been less than they have. 2021. Crazy to think that Davis Mills has ended up being the second best quarterback from that draft class, I'm pretty sure. That's crazy. Talking about Luis Perez. Look at that. The Birmingham Iron mentioned. That's the best league we've ever had, bro. The AAF. Oh, man, dude. Can't believe that league didn't last, man. You know what, though? My team's owner, he sacrificed the AAF so the Hurricanes could be a successful team. Totally not coping. And his cheapness, taking away the free t-shirts for the Blazers is so that we can win. Because, guys, I might be bringing out the broom tomorrow in the stream because we're going to sweep those pitiful Flyers tomorrow. 1st and 10 for the St. Louis Battlehawks. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Let's see what Perez does in his first play. Quarterback draw. Come on, it'd be pure perfect. It'd be cinema. Oh, he gets the offside trap. Oh, no, they're going to call it false start. Oh, man, he tried to pull it off, but it didn't. Bad luck for the Battlehawks right there. 5-yard penalty in Perez's first snap on the game. Rough. 1st and 15 now. Let's see what St. Louis does now. Would not be shocked if they do the same play, but it looks like they're going to do something different. I think Jarvin Howard's going to be in the backfield. Pardon me, with him. Yes, he is. He's got the bunch formation to his left, the top part of your screen, and 1 to the bottom. I'm not talking about David Tyree. I'm talking about Tom Dundon. He fakes the quick throw. Is he going to scramble? He throws it. Ooh, it's incomplete, but there are about 4 flags being thrown. We will see what these flags are. Matt Patricia, Joe Judge. Oh, my God. Let's see what the flag is. Defensive holding. Wow, they did not need to throw that many flags for it, but they did. So, good play, I guess, for the Aviators. The Battlehawks, they're back to where they were. 1st and 10, baby. Let's go. Bro, Joe Judge, to think that guy was a head coach in the NFL is crazy. That's one of the guys that when you think he was a legit head coach, not an interim, you're like, how, bro? Ball is snapped. They hand it off. Howard breaks 3, the 50, the 45, the 40. That's fumbled. It's picked up by the Battlehawks, and he gets to the 20. He goes out of bounds at the 18. Oh, man, the Aviators might have to try and force a review here. They might want that to be a down ball, because if that is a fumble, that is a massive game for the Battlehawks. And that's a fumble. That's a great full-out. That's a great strip fumble by Columbus. It just took a really bad bounce for them. Blake Jackson scooped it up and just bolted. Oh, my gosh. Still on the most hated list. Crazy. 1st and 10 for the Battlehawks. They are all the way at the 18-yard line after that. They got 1 second left. They're going to have to delay a game this. Do not call a timeout, Ricky. You take that false start. Ooh, I hate that. I hate that. You guys know how I feel about this. It is the first drive of the game. You do not use a timeout in the first drive. Okay, number 1, you just got about 20 yards you do not deserve. Why are you wasting a timeout right there? Just take the 5-yard penalty. I hate when they do that. So they are now down a timeout. Showing players to watch. Again, we will be taking off this poll after this drive. Like I do, I keep it for the first 2 drives of the game. So I will be taking it off after this one. But we'll see what ends up happening here. While we're at here, let's see. Any new stuff on the X app? Say it like I'm talking about the app. Not really. Just the Spring King. You watched some St. Louis Battlehawks football, baby. 2 QB runs, 2nd, 3rd, 9. Yeah, the QB sneak was the worst. That was so bad. But you know what? Kevin Sumlin outdid it. They're lining up in Wildcat. Are they going to throw it to Perez? No, they don't. They run it to the left. It's another fumble, but it goes out of bounds. Oh, man. Are we watching a team of Jalen McClendons today? What am I watching? That's 2 fumbles for the Battlehawks already, and they got lucky both times. They were lucky that one went out of bounds. Crazy bad right there for them. Judge was terrible. Oh, my God. Because at least Urban Meyer, you, like, can't be, like, at least Urban Meyer was, like, wow, he sucks, but, like, you were shocked at it. Joe Judge was like, this guy's gonna suck as a head coach, and then he sucked as a head coach. 2nd and 4 for the Battlehawks. In shotgun. 2 receivers at the bottom of your screen. Tight end is at the top. Ball is snapped. Fake the handoff. Quick throw to the left. It is high and incomplete. 3rd and 4 for the St. Louis Battlehawks. You watch any arena ball? I have not watched any arena ball this year. I have not. Whenever I'm not watching UFL work on a Viz, right now I've been watching just a bunch of NBA and NHL. I've watched more NBA in the last week than I've had the rest of the entire year. And golf. I was watching the entire first round yesterday of the Truist. I don't know what the Giants are smoking that higher. Man, a lot of hires you can say that for that team. 3rd and 4. Ball is snapped. He throws the check down to Howard, who cuts inside, and he gets the first down, maybe. Ooh, they're calling him. The ref's standing at the first down marker. He's giving him the first down. First down, St. Louis. Look at that. Yep, that's good. That's a first down right there. 1st and goal now for the St. Louis Battlehawks. 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. Ball is snapped. They hand it off. Howard breaks a tackle. He gets about 3.5 yards in the play right there. You hope and pray that Pratt somehow makes a miracle recovery. Because, man, if you have to go back to Harrison Frost, yikes. You know what you do? You probably try and sign a free agent. You try to somehow get El Gersma's damn visa. The 2nd and goal for the St. Louis Battlehawks. You signed to Leah. 7.5 minutes left in the first quarter about. Ball is snapped. They hand it off, cuts inside, gets about 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, about 4 yards on the carry. Always 40 seconds behind. How excited Perno was Tom Grassier play. What happens if Wilson sucks? I guess what happens is you take a lot of dead cap money and then somehow, some way, nothing bad ends up happening to you. Somehow. 3rd and goal now for the St. Louis Battlehawks. In shotgun. 2 receivers at the top of your screen. Ball is snapped. They fake the handoff. They rush inside. Blake Jackson, did he get it? They are signaling No, they're going to call him about a half yard short. They are going to go for this here, and like I've always said, if you're within a yard, you go for it. So they're going to go for it here. Ooh, great tackle. That's a beautiful tackle. He's definitely short. That was a beautiful tackle right there. You can't ask for a better tackle. He just tried to pull a Bill Goldberg spear right on him. Beautiful. Honestly, Jackson is lucky he didn't fumble that. He got smoked on a Friday. Let's see what happens here. Are they going to QB sneak this? Yes, they are. And it's touchdown! St. Louis gets the touchdown. They are up 6-0 over the Columbus Aviators with a little under 6.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Sup, T-Dog? Perez with the touchdown. First drive, and he gets a touchdown. Love to see that if you are a Perez fan. You hate to see that if you're a Renegades fan. Oh, man, if you're a Renegades fan, you are sick to your stomach watching this. And they don't get it, of course. Good old Perez. Love to see that. Unorthodox, brother. It's just a QB sneak. That's the play you use in Madden every time you're at 3rd and 1. You just say QB sneak, boom, first down. Kick is up. It is good. It is 7-0. St. Louis over Columbus. Gotta love that. Massive for the Battlehawks. Love to see that. Our Perez first drive, he scores. Yes, he ran the ball there, but really, you had a great run by Howard. He then fumbled it, and then Blake Jackson ended up picking up the fumble and got another, like, 20 yards. He did miss some pre-stream action, T-Dog, but that's about it. Yes, Frost is finally on the bench. Go over here, look at this stuff. Like how they drew it up. Dude, I'm so glad Harrison Frost is not on my TV. Oh my god, that was so rough watching him. Like I said, that's up there for one of my least favorite quarterbacks I've had to watch football for, I'm not gonna lie. But hey, it's over now. We are back to the real ones. We get to see actual quarterbacks playing football now, which is beautiful. You gotta take like 8 drives for the offense to get moving. Bro, watching Harrison Frost. Harrison Frost was either please Hakeem catch the ball or oh damn, I can't do anything, I'm scared. It was so bad. But you know what? It's gone. It's over now. The boogeyman is gone, bro. Gotta love it. 0% CPU usage. Yeah, right, Task Manager. Progressive Auto Insurance. Thank you, Progressive, for sponsoring the UFL. We love Progressive because they sponsor the UFL. Dude, QB sneak is so broken. It's so broken in Madden. Oh, man. I will say, I think it was, like, back when Madden Mobile was good, so, like, look, I liked Overdrive. Shoot me, I know. I liked it. That was the last year I thought was good. Like, I think the year before was better, but I liked Overdrive. I thought the game mode was fun. But, dude, like, from then and before, dude, fullback dive was also a really good play. I ran that all the time. Dude, if we see Perez winning, oh my god, that'd be great. Dude, if Perez were to win with the Battlehawks, their first year not playing in St. Louis in the title game, and they win the title with Perez starting, and the Renegades miss the playoffs, oh my god. Kickoff is up. The Renegades are getting it, the Aviators are getting it at the... Ooh, it went in the touchback, so Aviators getting in a good position. Dude, Overdrive was fun, man. I don't remember who I used as my captain, but I used, like, specifically one captain. I spammed it. Oh my god, it was so much fun, dude. I love that game mode. Dude, bring me back to old Madden Overdrive, bro. I think it was like the first year they did the above 100 or the above 99 overall, where I think 125 was the max. I had a not a god squad, but I had a great squad. I grinded so much. Dude, I had a good enough squad to where you would have thought I paid for it. Dude, when Nick Foles won Super Bowl MVP, I played that game Madden Mobile enough. I think it was Madden Mobile 18 to where I got the Nick Foles wide receiver card, like the 99 overall Nick Foles Super Bowl MVP card. Oh my god, it was so much fun, bro. It was great. 1st and 10 for the Columbus Aviators. Ball snapped. They hand it off again, and they rush for about 3 yards. They have not thrown the ball once, by the way. They have not thrown it once. Dick Vermeil, gotta love that. That's one of those guys that's a great coach. You know, that's one of those guys you look at and you're like, man, if he was still around in that second Super Bowl, they probably would have won it against Patriots. Instead, it was Mike Martz, and kind of know what happened after that Super Bowl with Mike Martz, so yikes. But, yeah. Oh my god, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. He's using his... Oh, that's great. Using his walking cane to handshake people is great. In shotgun. Ball is snapped. Ooh, there could be a flag. They're going to throw it. Oh my god, they throw it to Toa, and they're going to get about 6 yards on the play. Wow, they actually threw it. Oh my god, that's beautiful. DC is a 10.5 point favorite now, bro. They even gained a half point. Bro, I think it was spread. It was the green one I think I used. I don't remember. It was blue or green. No, blue was vertical. It might have been green. I don't remember for sure. I could have been West Coast, honestly. I do not remember. 3rd and 4 for the Columbus Aviators. Audibling. They got a bunch at the bottom of your screen. They got one receiver to the top. Toa is 2 McClendon's right in the backfield. They're going to throw it over the middle. It is caught. But they're only going to get about 2.5 yards. A very questionable decision right there, unless you're going to go for it on 4th down, which, if you are, it's very questionable. McClendon wants to go for it. Fourth and 2. The only throw for the Aviators. Only thing they do well. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm not against McClendon there. Your ground game has been great all year. Even in this game, it's still like you had one bad rush and then one that was But those were like, you know, like they took a while rushes. I'm not against going for it here, honestly. But hey, you know, play conservative, I guess. The punt, it's up. It is going to be recovered initially at the 23-yard line. Ooh, almost was a big hit, but he dodged. He gets to the 30-yard line and is down at about 30-yard line. So let's see what happens. We're going to go to commercial break now. Got a little under 5 minutes left in the quarter. Cardinal Tate signing his deal. Gotta love that all because of last year and the Bengals ended up making this a big deal now about like, oh, actually doing that? Like, come on, man. What is trending right now? Oh, no. Why is Landry Shamet trending? Oh, he just had a... Are we really acting like one dunk is a big deal? Okay, whatever. Bro, how about that Canvas thing? You guys hear about Canvas? How I got, like... Or Canva? Yeah, Canvas ended up getting, like, completely just, what was it? Hacked, like, during final exams for so many people. Oh, my God. That was crazy. Discord is still trending. Yeah, I know. I literally was sitting there. I was, like, in Discord with 2 people, and then one of them, like, just left. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess he left. Now I know what happened. I think he literally got kicked. And then it stopped working for me, like, just shortly after that. Spread is orange and play action. I think it might have been spread then. I think I used Sean McVay as my coach. I think he ran a spread offense. It might have been West Coast, but it was one of those two, and that's what I ran in overdrive. Because like you've upgraded your coach, you got access to like extra plays and benefits and all that, and I just spammed that whole thing. Columbus win percentage is down to 20. Oh no, that's so bad. I'm not shocked. Columbus, man. Ooh, I can scroll this down and give you guys a little bit more. There we go. Thought Columbus will win this. Hey, if you run the ball long enough and well enough, maybe you pull it off, but no. It's you know what, like, I think it's effed up. They're still doing these Arlington, the American Dream City ads. Now they're not in Arlington. Like, I know the hub still is, but it's there. But I also hate the fact, like, you see the OG Renegades jersey. Like, they show the OG Renegades jersey, and just looking at it, you're like, damn, man. Like, that's effed up. Dude, I heard they were doing a 2K game, and they ended up stopping making a new one, which was rough, but yeah. Yeah, I've never been a big thing of modding or anything like that. Ted Ginn! You gonna make us bring out the Ted Ginn nickname? Or are you gonna actually do something here? On your defense, at least. 6 total passing yards. Any of you guys see James Harden last night? Ooh, that was a rough watch. I say it like I watched that game. Of course I didn't watch that game. Ball is snapped. They hand it off. They're gonna get about 5. Ooh, keeps going. Gets pushed to about a 7-yard gain for the St. Louis Battlehawks. That was a rough watch, dude. James Harden was awful. He was awful last night. Oh, my God. It's like, what do you expect? It's James Harden, dude. James Harden in the playoffs is, like, actual trash. Like, I'm not even being disrespectful. He literally has been trash his whole career in the postseason. It's crazy. 2nd and 3 for the St. Louis Battlehawks. Or Harden. Bro, Honey Bun Man. Remember that? Remember Honey Bun Man when he, like, got super fat to get his way out of Houston? Cinema. Ball is snapped. Perez throws the check down. It is caught. Tries to make a move, and he ends up getting thrown down, but he still gets about 3 yards. This is going to be 3rd and inches right here. Wow, they're calling it 3rd and 1, and they are putting that ball back. It's about a full yard. Bit of a weak spot, like bad spot for the Battlehawks, but see what happens here. In shotgun, 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. They do another play out of Wildcat, and they get the first down. Doing a lot of Wildcat here. Makes you think, are they putting Jackson as their quarterback too? I mean, why not? 7 minutes left in the second. Man, Monche's winning. You know, bro, we sweeping our way through the playoffs, man. It is probably, I hate to say it because I picked the Wild to go far, but it's looking like it's going to be Colorado versus Carolina, and they're probably both going to be 12-0 heading there. They might be 12-1, but, like, respectfully, there's no other team in the West that's really as good as the Avalanche. There's no team in the East as good as the Carolina Hurricanes, so we'll see. I wouldn't be stunned if the Canes choke against Montreal. Ball is snapped, or Buffalo. Throw it deep to the left. It is going to be incomplete. He never cut back for the ball. I don't know what. There was some miscommunication going on. Either way, it is an incomplete pass, 2nd and 10. But in theory, it should be Colorado versus Carolina, and it should be basically the battle between 2 borderline undefeated or actually undefeated teams. Especially with the Hurricanes finally getting things like Svetch, Stahl, Aho, and Jarvis have done nothing all postseason long. Like, you know, Jarvis had that 1 goal in, like, game 2. But they've essentially, and Aho had 2, you know, empty net goals. They've been doing nothing, but yesterday had, you know, most of them score, get assists. So if they get up, oh man, it's gonna be those 2 teams by far. Ball is snapped. They hand it off, and it's gonna be a 3-yard loss for the St. Louis Battlehawks in the ground game right there. It's gonna be a long 3rd down here. They have not crossed midfield, so they can still punt, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, that's another one. Knicks, like, honestly, the NBA in the East, borderline, like, not even worth watching. Like, the Knicks are gonna, if the Knicks do not make it out of the East, Mike Brown should be fired. Like, that is a cakewalk. They got the ultimate cakewalk. You get the Hawks, the Sixers, and then you get either the Pistons or the Cavs. I know I picked the Cavs to make it, but damn, bro, it's a cakewalk. They deep throw at Perez. It's caught by Hakeem Butler at the 15-yard line. It looked like it was a bit underthrown, but Hakeem was able to make the catch. It's a massive play for the St. Louis Battlehawks. It's about a 45-yard or reception and passing throw by Perez. Oh my goodness. Let's see the replay on this one. Hakeem's going, he's going. He slows down a bit, and oh, beautiful catch right there. Honestly, still a great throw. Smith tried to get on him early and still couldn't do anything. Huge play right there. 1st and 10 for the St. Louis Battlehawks. Ball is snapped. Perez throws to the left. It is going to be incomplete. Hakeem was being held most of the time, but they did not throw any flag right there. Bro, TKO, man, what a company. Make everything insanely expensive. They cut their wrestlers' pay and their fighters' pay in the UFC, and then they sit there and act like they're, you know, not doing anything wrong. It's terrible. It is what it is, though. I forgot I upped my bit rate again, so my bit rate should be pretty good right now. I think I got like 6K bits a second, so it should be looking better than the last stream. You know, granted, it's not like I have a ton of stuff here, but you know what I mean. My boy Perez, yes, sir. He's finally going off, and he's finally in the game. Another timeout call by St. Louis, it looks like. I hate this. This is not what you want to see. You're getting bailed out by Columbus literally just spamming rush plays this early in the game, which is hilarious. I get it, but still. But yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a couple plays that they could have thrown it. I'm glad they're not throwing it. Like, dude, I'm going to be real with you. I've been watching the Hurricanes every single game. I would be very happy to not watch the refs. I have watched 3 straight games between the Flyers and Hurricanes where I think it's literally been like 15 power plays are called because there's just a penalty every 2 minutes. So, like, I'm good. Oh, speaking of the big news, how about Skip Bayless going on First Take this morning? Oh, my goodness. The return about a decade in the making. That was crazy, man. He's back. Came back for Friday. Second half is going to be the last play of the first quarter. We will see what ends up happening here. Holy Todd Haley, my God. Let's see what you here. 2nd and 10. Perez in shotgun. Got 2 receivers on both sides of the ball. Jarvin Howard is to his left. In shotgun. 3 receivers now to the top of your screen. Ball is snapped. They fake the handoff. They throw it deep to the left. They're going for the end zone shot, and it is caught. Touchdown. St. Louis is up 13-0. It is looking really bad for Columbus. This is what I said. The one thing Columbus could not do was get in a hole. I said this in the game picks. They are a team built on having the lead. If they have the lead, they are almost impossible to catch. But when they are trying to catch up to said lead, it ain't good. It is rough for them right now. They're now down 2 touchdowns, 2 scores already. Sup, Marion? So already in a very bad hole. If you're an Aviators fan, man, it's rough. It is looking rough right now. That's not what you want to see. Insurmountable lead. Honestly, might be for the Aviators. Again, we got a lot of time left, but still. Yeah, one more than one game pick, right? He's so bad without Butler. Kick is up. It is good. Yes, it is good. 14-0. Crowd is looking kind of what we expected. It's going to be competing with the last home game for like the worst of this era of the Battlehawks, but it is what it is. Liberty Mutual. Oh my God. 4 new posts. Let's see the posts. Gonna Aviators. Supposed to have the incident Ted Ginn should have been let go. Here you go. It's still the only issue with Columbus is that they are not running the. I mean, they're not throwing the ball this game, but that's the issue. Is that if you're gonna only run the ball, especially because remember we've talked about this before, Columbus likes to play these games quick. Like even if time is going by fast, it always feels quicker with a Columbus game. They gotta score soon. Essentially, cussing out St. Louis for not coming is definitely a choice. I mean, hey, he did it to Birmingham fans. I mean, that's what you actually want to see. You want to see him, like call it like it is. So, like I said. It's a double-edged sword. Should he have done it? Arguably no. But does it show that he's a fair, a fair, like, is he a fair dictator unlike this guy? Yes, he's going to call you out no matter what. Like I've said, I've always said this, right? I've always said that when you look at attendance, you cannot judge it based on the best and the worst team. You have to judge it based on the market itself. You have to look at what they've done in the past in spring football. When was that era of spring football? Or what they've done last year and compare it to that. So if you normally get, let's say, 60,000 fans and you get 30,000, that is worse than if you got 5,000 but are now getting 4,000. It is worse that you saw a 50% drop than compared to a 20% drop. So Mike Rapoli was justified in that. That's how I've always viewed it. Abe was getting clapped today. Being so one-sided on offense makes you predictable in the end. It gets tight. Keeping that pattern up, we'll get tired real quick. Keep running the ball, man. The Aviators, you got to throw it some. Like, they've been throwing it. Like, yes, their ground game is insane, but it's because they do throw it once in a while. Like, what usually happens is McLennan gets to about 15 throws. Then once he's about 15 throws, then they start running the ball more and more because they've already established a passing game. Then they're able to do it. Oh, yeah, I agree. Columbus ain't getting shut out. Shutouts are so tough to come by. I mean, we've only seen one, and even that one wasn't an impressive shutout, as I've talked about. Like, a shutout's a shutout. There's always a level of impressiveness in it. But as shutouts go, that was one of the least impressive shutouts I've ever watched. Was that Storm Stallions game. So it's definitely going to be a shutout, but it's probably one of those where it's going to be like either they score this drive or they score in like the next drive, and then it's still going to be like within a game, but they're going to be back. Or they're just going to miss a kick because Koo has been insanely inconsistent the last 3 weeks, but we'll see. You know, have one more play before the end of the first quarter. So in theory, maybe we see a pass, or we're just going to run it again, baby. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. Bro, he's already, look at that, 4 of 7 for 67 yards. And you know what he's doing? Keem Butler, baby. Keem Butler merchant. I'm joking. But, like, love to see it. Finally get to see him play, and he's already looking really good. Harrison Frost scoring back-to-back touchdown drives. Not in the fourth quarter against the Stallions. I don't know if that's happening, man. Sup, Weedy. Perez has honestly been solid. The one thing is they're not really using him, like, they're using him, obviously. But, like, they've done about, like, 4 plays out of Wildcat. But overall, Perez has been solid in what he's been doing for sure. 1st and 10. Ball is snapped, and they hand it off again. Again, bro. They lose 5 yards on the carry. We know you can run it, but you got to throw it, or else it's the same thing. This is not what you want to see. So they end up getting, you know, the out-of-bounds kickoff. They get it at a great position. Now they lose 5 yards immediately. Terrible play call right there. That's an awful play call. Hate to see that. Jalen McClellan's. Bro, it's like the Chris Paul meme. He makes a huge three to cut the lead down to, like, what was it, 36 or whatever? Again, is clueless. Gotta love it. Let's see. New post. St. Louis at the up. Yep. Colt of Ka showing his Ricky Pearl bobblehead. Seven new posts. Okay, I'm not even going to question what I just saw on my Twitter feed. The Aviators win. It didn't look too good. Perez, I mean, it's like we said, like, this team just needs a better quarterback. It's like what I've said for a while, basically since that first game Frost came in. Just need a good quarterback, man. The St. Louis team is, even though the ground game is maddeningly inconsistent, when it's on, like when Howard is playing well, or even Lattimus, it's a great unit when they're playing well. But if they just had a consistent quarterback, oh my god, with this defense, that's a great team right there. The dictator, Kylian Mbappe, the dictator. He's always watching. You know, he's always watching. He sent Tucci Maney to go beat the shit out of Valverde, sent him to the hospital. You know, after Valverde fell on a table. You know, that he just accidentally fell onto a table. So, you know, totally wasn't knocked out by one punch by Tucci Maney. But, you know, the guy that's gotten more signatures than any human rights, what was it, petition, right? Human rights, bro, ain't nobody care about that. We care about getting this guy kicked out of Real Madrid. That's what we care about. Gotta love it. But yeah, we're at the end of the first quarter. I was about to pull up the stats. I don't. I'm just going to get annoyed if I look at the stats. If I look at the stats and I see like 7 passing yards over Jalen McClellan, I'm just going to be like, what the heck? Looking bad for the Aviators. Really is. This might get ugly fast. It might. It ain't looking good. We'll say that. It is not looking good for him. It could be looking worse, but it's looking bad. Let's see. Wow, I thought there was going to be 44 points scored in this game. Actually, there might be. There might be. All by St. Louis. All by St. Louis. We'll see. Yes, the rings. It only took till week 6.5, but the Defenders finally got their championship rings from last year, which you definitely love to see. Took forever, but at least they got them. You know, better late than never. Showing a drone, they may not be shown. Time possession. Wow. Honestly, I mean, yeah, they did hold the ball for a bit that first drive, but honestly, it feels like it shouldn't have been that fast. Yeah, it definitely might get ugly, Chauncey. It ain't looking great. It is early. You know, they got 3/4 of football left, but let's see if Columbus can do something. They had a terrible first down play call. Like I said, I have no idea why he decided to run it like that. That was a stupid play call. But let's see what they do here. Surely they throw it here. They're in 5 wide, so surely this is not a quarterback draw, right? Ball is snapped. They're going to throw it. McLennan throws it deep to the right. It is incomplete. There's a flag, DPI or defensive holding. We'll see which one gets called, but it is going to be a flag on St. Louis's defense right here. Let's see what they call this. Pass interference on the defense. Bad break for the Battlehawks right there, taking that penalty. Seen a lot of questionable no calls on Hakeem Butler. Should have been more like holding, but it is what it is. I think he was holding him before the ball was thrown, honestly. Again, they didn't show the quarterback there. They didn't show McLennan, but I think that would have been holding. I think it's defensive holding, not pass interference. You know, it's like 10-yard difference either way. It's not like the biggest deal in the world, but still, I think that should have been probably holding. Ball snap, they hand it off, rush it in the middle. White gets the first down and then some to the 25, the 20, and he's down at the 17, 18-yard line. Big play by Zaquandre White there. See what I mean? Even though they didn't complete it, you got to throw the ball every once in a while. If you throw the ball, you can do it. Like normally, right, we talk about the other way. Teams just throw the ball, and you got to run it once in a while. This is the team where it's the opposite. You got to throw it once in a while, right? You got to keep running it, but you got to throw it every now and again. You got to keep the defense honest. Ball is snapped, and they're going to throw it here. Throw it over the middle. It is caught at about the 11-yard line by who else but Tay Martin, one of the best players last week. Already with a good play right there. I love to see that. Honestly, I don't know. I talked about it on Spring Into Football. Damn, I did a lot this week. But I talked about it on there with the guys. With Diego and Ferris. It's like DC we mainly talked about, but this goes to St. Louis. Honestly, I don't know what it is. Like, you can't just say it's fatigue, because then why wasn't it last year? I really don't know. Second and 3 for the Aviators. Ooh, they're going to be a flag. It's going to be false start on the Columbus Aviators. How about some play action? I do think Columbus is going to get a score here. Like, I hate to say this, but it is true. If you're Columbus, even if it's like 4th and 3, you have to consider going for it because Ryan Koo has been inconsistent. Now, has he been as bad as a certain somebody on the Renegades or the Stallions? No, but he has been a bit inconsistent as of late, so you might have to be going for it at times you really wouldn't want to. We'll see if that's the case. But either way, it is 2nd and 8 now for the Aviators after the false start penalty. In shotgun, they got 2 guys up top. They got the tight end up top as well. Ball is snapped. He throws the check down. It is caught at the 20, gets inside, and he gets about half a yard. It's going to be, they might call it 3rd and 7, but it's still about 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7. 13 minutes left in the second quarter. I guess that's the word I would say. 0 points allowed in the last 72 minutes of game time. Look, I'm just gonna be real with you. Like, I just watched the Hurricanes do that, but for like 120 minutes. I'm just saying. Ball is snapped. They rush to the left. They get to the 10. First down. 5. Touchdown. Toa Taua with the insane rush. No, that wasn't Taua. That was Jalen Morton who came in on the play right there. Your backup quarterback came in and ran it. Beautiful play. It is a touchdown. 14-6. St. Louis over Columbus. He should have lost a few yards. He ended up gaining not just a few, but he kept going. Great play by him. Let's see this play. Right there, he should have been tackled. He broke the tackle. Should have been down there. Kept running. Should have been down earlier. Kept running. Kept his feet moving. Great touchdown. Jalen Morton right there. Love to see that. You know, there might be one guy that's not too excited. This is like that one meme. Hey, that's a great pass. Yeah, he may be the starter. Whoa, now. Right? That's... we'll see. Let's see. Can he make this kick? Barely. Barely, but he did. It is 14-7. St. Louis over Columbus with 12.5 minutes left. So what you need to do with Columbus, like I said, you got to throw the ball once in a while. You do not have to throw it, you know, back-to-back plays every time, but you got to throw it once in a while, and then you can keep running. You can use your quarterbacks to run. Like I said, you've got 2 mobile quarterbacks Run with them. Great play right there for Columbus. Love to see that. We might have a big game now. We might have a good game. That's for sure. Let's see. New tweets. Jalen Morton with a touchdown. Yes. Defense need to make a stop. Hey, Perez has been doing pretty good. We'll see if they can make a stop, but Perez has been really good so far. One on 1 point conversions. Yeah, that is a great run. 1,000,000,000% sure that's an insane run. Weekend has game. I have no faith in Ginn. Ted Ginn is something else, man. But hey, you don't gotta have faith in Ted Ginn as long as you've got, guys like these, actually playing well. So at least there's that. A twist on breakfast? Nah, I'm good. Oh, you at the game? Nice. Love to see that live 5. I hope you're having a good time there. I know a couple guys that have gone to a couple games. I don't know if like Colt of Caw is here or if he's checking in once in a while, but there's a couple guys that might be at the game here that like aren't like here right now, but will stop in. But I hope you're having a good time in that game. I mean, so far looking like you have a good game right now. 14-7. Let's see. I want to look at the scores real quick. NBA 76-70. Let's go Knicks. Let's get that W. Sabres, Canadians. Honestly, let that series go to 7. Make it even easier for the Hurricanes to win in the next round once we sweep these sorry ass Flyers tomorrow. Sorry if you're a Flyers fan, but it's over. It's over. You ran into a buzzsaw. The storm is coming, baby. The brass bonanza is on its way. Svetch scored a goal finally. It's over, man. You let him score. Stahl scored. 4-1. Not even empty net goals. Ooh, it's rough. I don't even remember them pulling their goalie. I think they just said, "No, we're done." They conceded. Has faith in Ginn. Oh my god. I hope the Aviators take a shot downfield. Hey, you gotta throw one deep every now and again. With Tate Martin, they could get one. Look at Todd. Gritty. Hey, he's getting beat right now in the mascot battle. It looks like it's going to be a touchback on the kickoff, so we'll see what St. Louis does in this next drive. Let's see some random stuff. Bobblehead. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I know I mentioned earlier, but I forgot about that. Yeah, I hope you did get one live 5. The good old Ricky Pro bobblehead. That's, I believe, 2 of the, I think it's 4 or 5 total bobbleheads being given away this year. First and 10 for the St. Louis Battlehawks. It's captain again. 12.5 minutes left. Ball is snapped. They hand it off inside. Great tackle. It's going to be about a 1-yard gain for the St. Louis Battlehawks. It's a really good immediate stop by Columbus there. 2nd and 9. Bad stuff happens when they show him. Especially if they talk to him while in the red zone, then really bad stuff happens. Ball is snapped in 5 wide. Deep throw, Perez on the right. It is caught going out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. Great play and great throw by Perez there to Ja'Cour Pearson. Look at that. Beautiful throw. Just a nice, solid 20-yard completion right there. First and 10 now for the Battlehawks again. They cannot punt now, but hey, they might not need to even care about that. They've been having really good time on offense this game so far. Throw it to Pearson again. He's going to go out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Great open field tackle. Still going to gain about 2 yards in that play, so it's going to be about 2nd and 8. So still overall solid, though, for the Battlehawks there. Take a 2-yard gain there. Perez is already at 84 passing yards, which, again, if you're a Renegades fan, man, you're sick to your stomach right now. Man, you would kill for this guy in your quarterback. Instead, your quarterback is Austin Reed, which ain't looking too good right now. Hopefully, rebounds this week, but handling's a good for him. Ball is snapped. Perez looks in the middle of the field. Throws it to the right. It is going to be incomplete. He overthrew him, so it's going to be incomplete. Obvious passing scenario, they're calling it. 3rd and 7. Let's see, they're at the 40 exactly, so it's still going to be a super long kick, but this isn't even going to be a 60-yard kick. So I would not be against a run here. I would honestly be fine running this, try to get 3 or 4 yards, and go for it again. Throw it deep to the left. Oh, great catch and throw. They're going to call it a catch. Yes, he only needs 1 foot inbound. Another great pinpoint accurate throw by Perez and a great toe drag by Hakeem Butler. First down, St. Louis. Massive play right there. I'll be back, Zomb. Go Seahawks. So we'll see what happens to the Seahawks. It's looking like they might get another touchdown drive here. 1st and 10 for the St. Louis Battlehawks. 3 receivers at the top of your screen. Ball snap. They fake the handoff. They throw it deep to the left. It is going to be... Ooh, Hakeem tried to do a nice one-handed catch. Was not able to drag it down. It is going to be incomplete. 2nd and 10 for the St. Louis Battlehawks now. Man, that would have been insane if he caught that. Just heard of the call a penalty. I think that might have been on the offense. 10-yard holding penalty. We'll still in a second. Yeah, it's looking like a 10-yard penalty right there. So it's going to be 1st and 20 now for the Battlehawks. Perez can throw over 400 yards regularly. Hey, we never had a 400-yard passer, at least in the regular season. In shotgun, ball is snapped. They hand it off, and they're going to lose 2 yards on the play right there. Not a good first down play. Now you're down really far. Second and 21 now for the Battlehawks. Cell number, oh my gosh. Ooh. They're going to call this unimpeded to the quarterback, I bet. Yep, going to be offsides, unimpeded to the quarterback, so I had to call the play off. Yep. Still 2nd down, and because you did lose yards in the first down play, it really doesn't make this that much of a big benefit, so it's 2nd and 16. Really, it's like closer to 2nd and 17. It is what it is. Still could have been worse, but not what you want to see if you are an Aviators fan. Second and 16 now for the St. Louis Battlehawks. 3 receivers at the top of your screen, 2 to the bottom of your screen. Ball is snapped. Perez throws it deep to the right. It is going to be incomplete. I bet he was expecting Pearson to cut back a little bit. He didn't at all, and so it ends up being an incomplete pass. Man, it could have been a touchdown. Or it could have been at least a first down, but it is what it is. So let's see what they do in 3rd and 16. Probably just going to take the field goal here if they don't get this. Even if they get like 10 yards, obviously you should kick the field goal. Just keep this a much higher scoring 10-point game. Barely get the snap off. Perez throws it deep to the left. Ooh, could have been intercepted. Hakeem Butler had to play DB right there. First real bad throw, truly questionable throw of the day for Perez. 4th and 16, they're going to be forced to kick it here. So Columbus does eventually get the stop. They didn't let them get in the field goal range. So it's still going to be a 2-score game as long as Ramis makes this kick. But Still did get the stop overall, though, so you will take that, I guess, if you're an Aviators fan. You'll take that. Fourth and 16. From everything we know, it is all depending on the stadium. If the stadium is complete by 2028, then the answer is yes. It's just a matter of will it be complete for sure. If it is, then yes. So that's what it's looking at like that. So another penalty on Columbus, but it's now 4th and 11. So still going to kick this here. Not like you're really close enough to actually do anything, but we'll see what they end up doing. Mm. Fourth and 11, 38-yard kick. This to make it a 10-point game again, or make it a 10-point game. It is good. It is going to be a 10-point lead, 17-7, St. Louis over Columbus. Talking about that could have been PI. Honestly, I'm not against not calling that, like not challenging that. I mean, I think that at that point, you save your challenge flag, you take the field goal. Like if that was 4th down, you probably throw your challenge flag. But because that was only 3rd down, I'm honestly not against holding your flag. Take your 3 points, make it a 10-point game in the NBA. Yeah, we did have the Panthers emoji last season, but I ended up having to change it. It's a big L, but yeah, maybe at some point in the future, but yeah. They don't want to pay that huge amount of money for Ford Field. They don't want to spend all that money at Ford Field. Just shame people showed up for those games, but it's still a mega stadium compared to what you were at. And they didn't. The real issue, they didn't want to go to EMU for God knows why. They they're racist, right? They're not racist, they're gracist, bro. They hate those gray colored fields, bro. They hate colored fields, the UFL does. Gotta love it. But it is what it is, so hopefully 2028. But 77, Columbus. Let's see what they do in this next drive. You really do hope that they actually, get another touchdown. Like I said, it'll be intriguing to see if we do end up actually seeing Morton get more snaps, because that was a beautiful touchdown run. Like, that was an insanely good touchdown run, so I would not be stunned if he ends up, playing a little bit more, but we will see. You think Gridiron Kitties, oh my gosh. Gotta love it. Gotta love the Michigan Panthers. We love the Michigan Panthers. The Panthers, baby. It's from like the UFL shop. Little tongue and all that, yeah. Gotta love it. Look at the little jersey. Got the little logo right there. Just have that right near my desk. I kind of like season mediocre. Anyway, 10-point game. You gotta have a good drive here, because your opening drive did not really go well for you. That's the biggest issue. St. Louis does get the ball at half. So if you're Columbus, you really want to do one of your patented, shoe the clock 8-minute drives. You want to make this the last drive of the half, because you do not want... St. Louis has scored on every single drive. You do not want them getting the ball back and doubling up. You got to try and score this drive here and then go to the second quarter, or second half. Boo-hoo if St. Louis then scores in that opening drive. You got to score here and not let them do anything. We'll see. Turn up to the 20. Goes out of bounds at about the 22-yard line, technically tackled there. So if you're Columbus, you want this drive to be a super long one, but like I've said, you got to throw it once in a while, but we will see what happens. There is a flag here. But they are now, I believe it's Mark Jones. Yep, or Mike Jones. The tackle. The 1-yard line. Dyson, he was diving for it. Didn't get it. It's like KD, bro. KD wore, one size smaller shoes, bro. If Dyson's arm was, a little bit longer, Whereas if he had a little bit longer of a reach, could have done it. Big shame. Showing the tackle now. What an image, man. If you're a Titans fan, that's got to be like the worst thing you've ever seen. Like, you got to look at that image and be like, man, bro, that was the only time we even got to the Super Bowl. And it's not like you've really been close since. Like, I think they made like one conference title game, but even then they got like annihilated in that game, I believe. Or they blew a 10-point lead or something like that. And there was the Bengals game where they had like 10 sacks and still lost. Like, man, it's been rough. Ryan Tannehill's been your best quarterback the last 20 years. Like, yikes. Unless you want to count the 1 year Mariota was good where he threw the touchdown to himself in the playoff game against the Chiefs. First step for the Aviators. Penalty was on them, so they had the 12-yard line. They handed off in the first down play. They lose about 6 yards in the play. With forward progress, it's only going to be about 6 yards. A really bad first down play. Again, like, we get it. You're good at running, but if you just run it the whole time, the defense is going to be expecting it. They're going to blitz everybody because they're expecting a run. And what happens? You end up losing a bunch of yards. This is like the 3rd time it's happened. This is just bad play calling. I don't know why you're running it there. You got to throw it on first down. Normally, no, but when you're running the ball damn near, 4/5 of your plays, got to throw it once in a while. But yeah. A.J. Brown, oh my God. Wow, they are not giving him forward progress. They're calling that a genuine 10-yard loss. This is 2nd and 20. Very questionable right there, but it is what it is. Run it again right up the middle. What is this play calling? Todd, have you been drinking Ted's special stuff? Because this is not what you want to do. McClendon is 4 for 14 yards. Oh my God. That's terrible. This is bad. This is bad. If you're an Aviators fan, man, it's bad. Because, again, you're going to now be punting out of your own end zone. You might get a blocked kick here, if you're St. Louis. You might be able to block their punt. Oh, my gosh. 3rd and 21. Now, surely you're going to throw it. You're not just going to give up and punt the ball, right? They're going to give up and punt the ball. They're going to run to the right, and they get 3 yards on the play. So they have more room to punt, baby. Yes, sir. They got more room to punt the ball. What an awful drive for the Aviators right here. That was genuinely terrible. That was a bad drive. NFL blitz, oh my gosh. 4th and 17 now. Let's see what St. Louis does in their subsequent drive. Now, they can have the luxury of getting double-up scores. Score with no time on the clock, then you get the ball back at half. So if you to get a field goal here, you're fine with that, but yeah. No, they did not. They ate up about 2 minutes and punt the ball. What a drive. Wow, and they could have just gotten a delay of game penalty. They're lucky. Recovered at the 45 in Columbus territory. Keeps going to the right. Cuts up, gets the 40. Oh my God, and they get a great return. Like, not a great return, but the punt wasn't great, so they get the ball at the 40-yard line. Terrible. My God. Again, that's terrible play calling. Like, you gotta throw once in a while. If you only run the ball, right? It's the same thing we've always talked about with passing. If you pass the ball all the time, the reason why it ends up failing you is because then defenses only rush 3 guys. Because they're going to be like, why should I pressure? If I just throw 8 guys back into coverage, you only have 5 guys that can catch the football max. So 8 versus 3, I have the numbers advantage. It's the same if you're running it. If you're running it, I'm just going to rush 7 every play. You only got so many guys that are going to block at that specific area. So if I tell them, hey, they're probably going to run, and the DBs are all already considering it, and your entire front 7 is rushing every dang play, you can't do anything. Like, that's why they're not running the ball well, because they're not throwing it at all. I do not know why they're not doing it. It's terrible play calling. For the next game. True, it'll ram down the next game. Oh man, this is rough. Oh, play calling, man. I can't believe the play calling is actually looking bad right now. This is a run and shoot offense. Gotta do something, man. Knock back at a few shots, try and clear his head. He'll do America's favorite pastime, drinking and driving. Mm. Looking at these stuff. We could have been shutting them out, and we knew how to tackle. Hey, you know what else could be happening? You know, Columbus could be winning if they didn't do some of the worst play calling I've seen all year. Now, you have to say some of the worst play calling we've seen all year. Because, again, we did watch Kevin Sumlin throw in his wide receiver at quarterback in 2nd and 19 with a chance to win the game and called a QB draw with this many timeouts left. So it's not the worst play calling we've seen all year, but it's up there. Like, this is just... You've run the ball every play. Why are you running it on first down? Like, they know you're going to run it. You lose 10 yards immediately. You're stuck in a hole, and now you're giving the ball back in field goal range already. Oh, my God. Why even play McClendon? You know what? You're not wrong. I mean, you're not wrong if you're not going to throw it. Just play the Wildcat for all we care about. Throws to the right. Perez throws the tight end caught. The 30. Goes for the hurdle and gets it. The 20. The 15, what a hurdle. He fully hurdled him. Great play right there. The tight end for St. Louis. Oh my God, Neville with an insane hurdle. What a play. Oh man, you gotta see the replay of this one. Oh, they're showing it. Oh man. Oh, that's a true hurdle. He wasn't even, like, he was going a little down, but that wasn't even like hurling a guy down. He jumped over, and that's a beautiful play right there. Run shoot offense is terrible in the red zone. Doesn't have much space. 1st and 10 for the Battlehawks. They hand it off. Cuts to the left. Keeps going. Gets to the 10. The 5. Touchdown. St. Louis is up 23-7. It is looking really bad for Columbus now. Columbus has got to score. You got about 4 minutes to do something on this next drive. Worst thing you could do, again, talked about this earlier. St. Louis, man, you used 2 timeouts. You really could have easily gotten the ball back now, like on this next drive, but now it's going to be a bit harder. Columbus could, in theory, run out this clock. We'll see. But yeah. DC, Orlando, St. Louis, Birmingham. Right now, it looks like Birmingham really does. Dallas is it looks like they're falling off a cliff. I honestly am going to be shocked if they make the playoffs right now, the way they're playing, but we'll see. Orlando, like I said, a 4-0 start to miss the playoffs would just, you would have to lose out, and even then you still could end up pulling it off, but yeah. Go 3 and out in 90 seconds. Oh my God, they might. Kick is up, it is good, it is 24-7. So, St. Louis, I need you to not score a single point the rest of this game, and I need you to allow 13 exactly for Columbus, so that I can have a perfect game prediction. That's all I'm asking for. All I'm asking for. It's not that much. I'm just asking for you to not score anymore and to let Columbus score exactly 13 points. That's all I'm asking for. 2 field goals and a touchdown. Not that bad. Not that bad. Right? Yep, 24-20. That's exactly what I predicted. So, let that happen. The worst hire... Nah. Well, it depends what you define as worst hire. If you're doing pure hire, it's tough. Because obviously the worst coach is Kirby Wilson, I think that's pretty clear. But in terms of a hire, because hire is different than a coach, right? Like Urban Meyer is nowhere near the worst hire in existence. He's one of the worst coaches ever. Nathaniel Hackett was a horrible hire. Because a hire means at the time it was terrible. It's up there, man. When you combine it, probably, granted, like Terrell Buckley wasn't expected to be good and he was terrible. It's tough. Ted Ginn, AJ McCarron, Terrell Buckley, those are like, I don't even know who you'd put fourth. What, Hines Ward, Rod Woodson? Like, that's probably your Mount Rushmore of terrible hires. Again, Kirby Wilson was the worst coach by far. With the team he had, with what he pulled off, was historic ineptitude. But as a hire, it wasn't a horrible hire, right? Again, Hackett versus Urban Meyer. Meyer was somehow a worse coach, but he was a better hire because at least at the time you thought, you know, maybe he'll buck the trend of college coaches sucking in the NFL. Nathaniel Hackett, we knew was a terrible coach from the get-go, and he ended up, you know, just being awful. So he's up there. Ted Ginn's up there for sure. Have a receiver down there somewhere. Curtis... Dare I say, like, 6th, maybe even 5th. Dare I say, Honest to God, if you polled 100 Stallions fans, I bet 70 of them say they would rather have Curtis Johnson. I'm just saying. I bet 70% of them, Curtis Johnson. If they could snap their fingers and get Curtis Johnson as the head coach, they'd do it in a minute. Aviators fans, snap of the fingers, they would do it as well. Honestly, Houston fans, they're like that meme of the upgrade, and it's like F go back, like F it go back. They want to go back probably. So at least 3 teams, you could argue Redmond. I know there's some people that like him and there's some that don't. At the very least, he's 5th. 6th, yeah. Wait, no. Well, if you were to add him, it'd be 9 coaches, so yeah, 5th. No, 6th. He would be 6th out of 9 if you were to include him. One and 9. He was 1 and 10. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I agree. God Sports. This team is looking so much better with Perez for sure. Hey, looking a lot better, man. What is happening? You hired a bunch of coaches with no experience. Again, the XFL taught you things, right? Returns up to the 20, the 25, the 30, down at about the 31-yard line. Like we've talked about it before, right? It's the one thing I always said was the biggest issue with the 2023 XFL. You decided to hire 4 guys with no real coaching experience, then were stunned when none of them made the playoffs. Yes, Anthony Beck went 7-3. He still blew what was essentially a playoff game. But you ended up having 4 coaches miss the playoffs. 3 of them did so spectacularly and were terrible. And it was predictable. And this year is the very same way we're seeing, right? We're seeing that only because the Renegades are falling off a cliff, 1 of them are going to make it out of the 3. Ricky Prohl was in that in-between area, but it is what it is. Ball snap, they throw it over the middle. It is caught for a 6-yard gain to Tay Martin. So apparently their playbook is throw it to Tay Martin once in every 15 plays and then run it the rest. So yeah, CJ never iced his own kicker, not once. Can't believe that, bro. Kevin Sumlin, oh my god. Icing his own kicker. Blood won't throw a challenge flag when he kicks the field goal, but he will ice it. Crazy. 2nd and 3 for the Aviators. They got all 3 timeouts left. Ball snap. They quick throw to the right. It is caught. They go up the field and they get a first down. Oh my god, look what happens when you throw the ball once in a while. First down, Columbus. Now you know what you can do? Now you can run it once. Maybe even twice. And then throw it again. Isn't it beautiful when you use more than one type of play? 1st and 10 for Columbus. Got 2 receivers at the top of your screen. Looks like they're going to have 2 at the bottom. Nope, they got 3 at the top, 1 at the bottom. They got their running back to the right as well. Ball snap. They're going to throw it again here. McClellan's getting pressured, and he takes this. Ooh, nope, takes a sack. Could be a 7.5-yard loss for the Columbus Aviators. Carlos Davis getting another great play right there. He's been having a really good year. He might get another all-UFL season as a DT. Not calling a timeout, not doing anything. Honestly, I'm not against it. Use the time and all that, but yeah. Rapoli really thought, this is like I've said, why, you can have money but not be a true genius. He really genuinely believed that these coaches were going to, garner fan support. It's about a 2-yard reception for the Aviators, going to be about 3rd and 14 here. Like, he genuinely believed that hiring these guys was going to really boost attendance. And I guess he viewed that they would make good hires at the coordinator positions, which, again, didn't happen with Tyler Siskey. So, he really thought that was going to be the case, and it hasn't worked out. So, at least you can give him the benefit of the doubt there, but still, again, it is what it is. So, a 2-minute warning now. The Aviators are at a super long 3rd down. St. Louis, again, even with only 1 timeout left, we've talked about this before, 2 minutes, it's a long time in the UFL. So we'll see what ends up happening. Except AJ Smith. AJ Smith, like I said, the main 3 is what I mean. Because, I don't view him in that same regard. I view it like the main 3. Because, like I said, Ricky was in that middle area. He actually has coached a lot, just not head coaching level and all that. Right? So at least there's that. But when it comes to the other 3, made some good hires and questionable ones. Captain Munnerlin never coached at any level outside of high school for a year, and you made him your defensive coordinator. Questionable hire. Tyler Siskey. Yikes. Even as a head coach, that'd be a bad head coach. And then Kevin Schur, like I said, at the time, wasn't a great hire, but he has been better than I expected. I've given him props for that. You know, the bend but don't break mentality has worked for him. His unit has worked outside of 1 week. Whenever they lose, it's pretty much always the offense. It's not the defense you can really blame. Again, they won last week primarily because, like, I know DTR had a great game, but they won because of the defense. I mean, hey, to be fair, it's been the markets that were new. Columbus, a new one. And Orlando has a coach that's been here for a minute, and they're having attendance that is much better than what the Guardians had. So, you know, gotta say that. Based off Rapoli. I will say, I don't want to be a dick when I say this, but like I've always said, I think the Friday night stuff is a bit overblown. We're not talking about Thursday. Thursday's a different story, but Friday night, bro, like Friday night versus Sunday night. Would you rather go to a Friday night game or a Saturday night game? Friday. You ain't doing shit tomorrow. It's Saturday. You are going to work tomorrow on Monday. You are going to school if it's during a school week on Monday. You ain't doing nothing on Saturday. Go to a game Friday. I hate that argument because then they'll be like, oh yeah, Sunday night, let's go. You ain't going to that game. You got stuff tomorrow. They get to the 50, and they get down at about the 48-yard line. They're going to be forced to go for it, but they got enough to where this is a very, very, very short fourth down. It's going to be, at worst, 4th and a yard and a half. Calling it 4th and 2, this is really 4th and a yard and a half. Obviously here, I would either run it or play action. I would not do a straight pass. I'd play action or run it in general. We'll see what they do here. Wouldn't even be against doing QB sneak. Oh, no. Wow, they gave him a bad spot. This is a genuine 4th and 2. They gave him a really bad spot. Under center. Ball is snapped. They fake the handoff. They throw it. They did the PA. It's intercepted. And you know what? That's actually crazy. That was a bad play by the Battlehawks defender. It's an interception, but that was actually a bad play by the defender. You ended up losing your team about 15-ish yards there. That's actually a bad play right there. You know, great for your stat sheet, but that's an interception that if you're going to look back on, your coach is going to tell you, you just bat that ball down. You do not catch it and hold on to it because now you just lost your team about 10, 15 yards. So it's a borderline arm punt, especially with only one timeout left. Not great. About a team to go to. Because, yeah, I mean, it's like, again, like, you know, Friday night, Saturday's tomorrow. Sunday night, Monday's tomorrow. Like, it's crazy. Even, like, you can't even use, like, the church argument because, again, it's Sunday morning, so it's just crazy. To knock it down. Oh. So, first down for the Battlehawks. Again, if you're the Battlehawks, man, you got to go for the score here. You can get another score here. You get the back-to-back scoring. You just want a field goal at least. If you get a field goal here, you put yourself up 20 points. You end the game, especially with how this offense is looking for Columbus. You end the game here. You get the ball back in the second half. So we'll see. Ball is snapped. They hand it off, cuts inside, gets about 4 yards in the carry. No, I don't think it's going to be 31-7, but I think it is going to be probably 27-7. Look at that. TD, field goal, TD. My goodness. What a drive sheet. What a sheet of drives, man. It's crazy. Let's see what A.J. Smith calls here. Best the offense has looked in years. Man, who'd have thought having Luis Perez start a game in 2026 would be a good idea? Like, I mean, hell, even if he was 80% of what he was, it's still a hell of a lot better than Harrison Frost. Ball is snapped. They throw it deep to the right. It's caught at the 50. They might even give him the 49 depending on the spot of the ball, but that's a great play right there. It's going to stop the clock until they get there so they can do an immediate play or they can call a spike. Either way, very solid. Their leadership is full of idiots. St. Louis gets the ball at half. Remember, Columbus had the ball. They immediately went 3 and out like that because they had the really bad opening kickoff where they like muffed it and they ended up getting it like a 3-yard line. So St. Louis gets the ball at half. That's what I mean. St. Louis fully can end. Ricky, my boy, I just try to defend you. Why are you calling a timeout there? The clock stops, Ricky. On first downs, you can spike it and save the timeout. Why are you using a timeout there, Ricky? Why, Ricky? Why? Why, Ricky? Why? That's a bad timeout. It is what it is. You know, you're the head coach, man. You're winning because of Luis Perez. But man, that's a bad timeout. Why? Like, again, remember, for those of you who don't know, who are NFL fans, the UFL is like college. Within 2 minutes, if you get a first down, the clock stops until the ball can be snapped again until it's fully moved. So it essentially is a mini timeout, meaning you can immediately spike it. You lose at max 2 seconds. Not a fan of that timeout. That was a bad timeout call. Ball is snapped. Perez looks to the right. Throws it to the check down. Caught. Goes. First down and then out of bounds. So nice play right there. They're going to get the ball to about the 39-yard line. Already in field goal range. Again, if you had a timeout here, you could play a little bit better, but it is what it is. Now running the ball is a bit out of the... It's not out of the question, but it's questionable. So, yeah. We'll never fail to use his timeouts. Who is Perez feeling like? Not Harrison Frost. In shotgun. 2 receivers at the top of your screen. 2 at the bottom of your screen. Running back to the left of Luis Perez. He got 154 yards, by the way. Ball is snapped. Throws it deep to the right. It is... Ooh, incompleted. Just about a step ahead of him. But that could have been a touchdown shot. It is instead going to be 2nd and 10 now for the Battlehawks. You would like to get a first down here. Make this a much closer field goal. I know that's, borderline nitpicking, blah, blah, blah. You would like to get a little bit. Because you're in that sort of weird area where this is like a really long 50-yard field goal, but not a 60-yard field goal. So you'd like to get at least a first down here. You want to get a field goal here. Like, I get the touchdown drive, but you need to... Your goal is a field goal here. That's a 20-point lead, and you get the ball back. You gladly take a field goal. Ball is snapped. The quick throw to the right. Beautiful play call right there. Ooh, that's a... Again! Oh, man, dude. Like, sometimes I hate when I'm... 3rd and 1. 1 second. Dude, like, see, the reason I get so pissed at this, for those of you that are new to the chat in this channel, the reason this stuff pisses me off is I'll always say this. When a 7-year-old playing Madden is making better decisions than you as a coach, there is a serious issue. There was 0 reason to call a timeout at 29 seconds left when you got a first down. You called it. Now you're out of timeouts. So now you have to go out of bounds or get a first down. And he didn't get it. So now you do not get to score even a field goal purely because of your coaching mistake. Look, you can blame number 3 for not reaching forward and getting the first down. You can do that. But at most, he gets 30% of the blame. That's not because he's number 3. That's just generally. 33% of the blame. He gets a third of it. That is on Ricky almost alone. Why call a timeout there? There was 0 reason to call a timeout there. Terrible. I'm going to tweet that. His team 3 points by wasting that timeout with 29 seconds left. Does he know that the clock stops on first downs? 7 St. Louis, but should have been 27. Hate to see that. That's terrible, man. Like, there's no defending that. How poetic would it be if Perez gets a passing yard this game? It would be hilarious. He's not I hate to say it, but he ain't going to get it. They're already up by a ton. If they score a touchdown the next drive, they're probably going to start running the ball a ton. Because I think by this point, Austin Reed, I think, was already at like 230. He was like some insane number at this point, so yeah. Poor coaching calls. Yeah. Graves freak out with piss 4 o'clock manager. He goes haywire too. I mean, I know I just said it, but it's true. If a guy playing Madden, and not even a guy, if a literal 7-year-old who's on his dad's Xbox is making a better use of a timeout than you, there's a serious issue with your coaching. Like, there's a serious issue. It's like I've said with play calling. Like, if you only use play action at the half-yard line and the goal line and you're stunned you're not getting a touchdown, maybe don't give yourself a 5-yard loss. But, like, this is the UFL, like I said. The NFL and UFL have very different timing rules, but this is not a new rule this year. This has been the case for years. A first down stops the clock until the chains are reset, just like college. That's why we've always talked about it. One of the biggest differences from college to the NFL, naturally, yes, the one-handed catch is a big one-handed. The 1 foot in bounds, big difference. The biggest one is how the 2-minute drill works. In the NFL, a minute is nothing. It is nothing. Because if you do any play in the middle of the field, you are losing a minimum of 7 seconds. Even if it's like a handoff in the middle of the game, 1 yard, you're losing 7 seconds. But in the college and UFL, a minute is an eternity. You can do so many plays in a minute. You can do so many. You can literally, if you do them quick enough, you can get 7, that's not 10 plays, because that'd be 7 seconds, that'd be 70 seconds, can't do that many. You can get about 7 to 8 plays off in a minute in the UFL easily. Easily, you can get that many plays off. You can't do that in the NFL, man. You can't do that. Unless there's like all out of bounds plays or incompletions. Like you can get completions or rushes, and you can get like 7 of them in a minute. So terrible play calling, or terrible coaching by Ricky. That was a terrible decision by Ricky. You know, again, they're still up by 24-7. But this is like the difference from a championship level team and like a championship appearance level team is something like this. And how about 7? I don't think they could have gotten 7. Like I said, like yes, if that deep throw was perfect, like perfect, they would have gotten 1. But they should have at least gotten a field goal there, or at least had the chance to get 1. But it is what it is. 9 post. Timeout. Seconds earlier. I want to stop clock. Aviators are going to do this to themselves. This door during halftime should be about 25 minutes. Will St. Louis score twice before I get back? Twice? We'll see if it ends up being twice. We will see. Okay. Can I get this? Okay. No, I'm going to wait till after the stream is over. I'm going to wait till the stream is over to deal with it. I'm not even going to attempt that now. I'm just going to piss me off. Like, yes, it would be hilarious if I could get it to work now, but I'm not even going to try. Not even going to try. Not until after. If it works for tomorrow, it works for tomorrow, but now. They're honoring some more of the guys from the Greatest Show on Turf team. It's a shame they couldn't get some of the, like Isaac Bruce. Like, you couldn't get, like, the real big guys. Like, by big guys, I mean, like, the offense. Like, the Greatest Show on Turf guys. I mean, Ricky Prohl is there, right? Like, couldn't get, Shahir. You couldn't get Bruce. Couldn't get Holt. Couldn't get, I'm spacing on his name. Oh, the great Orlando Pace. Kurt Warner. I mean, hey, he talked about the league. But it is what it is. We are buying an apartment in New York City. Andrew Funk driving a bad coach and worst person. Fire this clown. You would think he'd be fired. We'll see what happens during the offseason. Well, speaking of fired, it looks like Mike Brown's going to last a little bit longer. They are leading by a little over 10 points with 4 minutes left. That should be a free win. Knicks should sweep them. The Sixers, dude, the Sixers are the team you want to play, bro. The fact they got to play the Sixers is such a big W because, you knew damn well Embiid wasn't going to play. Like, you knew he was going to get hurt at some point immediately. Now, yes, I know he's playing today, but, normally he's not playing well. He's currently 6 of 15, which is only to be outdone by a way-off P or a pandemic P or a playoff P or PP, as Stephen A. Smith called him today, with Paul George going 6 of 17. So, yeah. Mm. Mm. Going over here now. 76 rushing yards. All the way through. Let's see. Looking at some random stuff real quick while we're in the break for the halftime. Now the Battlehawks are going to come out firing, probably. Some random stuff right now on the TV. The Noble stuff, gotta love it. Gotta love these guys actually getting some stuff, you know, getting some ads with Noble. I do wonder how much Rapoli is paying him, if he's even paying. He paid him like $5. He said he was $5 to be in this ad. Mitch Dunk. I do not believe I saw that. Man, that was such an insane stat line. Watching the game yesterday, and they showed the stat line that Brendan Moore was involved in 92 of the 94 playoff wins for the Hurricanes was just insane. One post should... I'm gonna not answer that. That was something hilarious right there I just saw. It's an all-time image right there. I gotta see this. We're talking about Mitchell Robinson, I assume. Let me see. Mitchell Robinson. Oh, poor Embiid. Oh, poor Whittle Embiid, bro. Got bullied. That's great. Man, there were people that tried to say he was the best player on the planet at one point. That's crazy. That's the craziest part to me. Can't believe that. I can't believe people actually were like, oh, this is the best guy in the NBA. For what? For what? Because he was healthy for about, like, a year? Oh, my God. The process, bro. Philly, what a failure. That's a failure right there, the Philadelphia Sixers. But you know what? Hey, they got Tyrese Maxey. That's a great player. They got VJ Edgeco. He's going to be a really great player. But you got Joel Embiid, the flopper. It is what it is. It is what it is for Sixers fans. Sucks. Hey, if you're a Philly fan right now, man, you're sitting there like, bro, we got two teams that made it to the second round, and they're both about to be swept. I didn't even realize that till right now. You got two teams in the second round that are both about to be swept. Crazy. Like, that's crazy, but true. Now, granted, one of those teams should, in theory, have been a finals team, like Eastern Conference Finals. It should have been the Sixers, but, you know, they kept getting hurt, kept having issues. It is what it is, though. Like, really, it was a weird year for the NBA. The fact that, like, it's ultimately going back to what everybody thought it was. Like, with the playoffs, it's ultimately back to what people assumed it was going to be, right? The Cavaliers, the Pistons, and the... I mean, granted, the Hawks, I think people thought were going to be a bit better, but Thought it was going to be like the Pistons, the Knicks, and then the Sixers were supposed to be the teams that would actually like elevate themselves to be competitive. Sixers, not really. Celtics got good, then choked, and then we are where we are now. Knicks are now up by almost 20 with 2 minutes left. They are killing the Sixers now. Let's see, what is Pandemic P doing? 6 of 18. So he took another shot and missed another shot. Love to see that. I think I've heard about that. I haven't checked Schwarber's stats yet. What is Schwarber doing right now? 216 batting average. Oh my god. Oh my god. Granted, some people are... It's crazy, bro. The fact that like 216 isn't considered what it used to be is crazy, but whatever. The Mets, bro. The Mets. What a joke. Spent all this money to suck. That's rough. Like, I was thinking about it like earlier today. If you're a New York sports fan, like a genuine New York sports fan, this has been an awful decade for you. In the last 10 years, for your major Big Four sports leagues, you have accomplished nothing. You made it to 1 World Series. You made it to 1. And that's basically it. The Giants have done nothing. The Jets literally have done nothing. The Bills have done nothing. The Sabres have done nothing, and they've been terrible most of the time. Weedy, big thank you, Weedy, for the $2 dono. I have not seen the Michael Jackson movie, and honestly, I'm probably not going to see it. I have not seen any of those movies like that. The only one I saw was like, I think I've seen a couple of them, but I don't ever go out of my way to see those types of movies, so I probably won't end up seeing that one. I've heard good things, I've heard bad things about it. I've heard that, you know, like the Michael Jackson Experience video game has apparently gone up in a ton of money for eBay, which is hilarious. But I have not seen it. I probably won't end up seeing it. Big thank you for the $2 dono. But, like, you know, the Sabres have sucked. The Bills have choked. The Mets, yikes, because we're now, like, past the decade since they made it to the World Series. The Brooklyn Nets, yikes. The Knicks, still technically, yikes. So, yeah, if you're a New York fan, man, it's been rough. It's been a rough decade. It's been really bad. Because at least normally you'd think that at least, like, one team would actually win something. Again, like, you made it to 1 finals overall, and that's it. Terrible. When the New York Liberty are, like, your most successful team in the last decade, it's bad, bro. You gotta go to the W. Yikes. Giants at least won a playoff game. The Bills won a few, but that's about it, you know. So like I talk about the Hurricanes, right? The Hurricanes have all these, you know, winning numbers. They're like the most successful team, regular season win percentage in like the last 5 years and all that. At the end of the day, the Hurricanes have nothing to show for it. We don't even have a conference banner to show for it. We have not even won our conference ever in this stretch. We haven't won the President's Cup. Like, hell, for how bad the Rangers have been this year and how they've completely free-falled from that legit cup contending team, they at least got a President's Cup or a President's Trophy. We can't even do that. It's terrible. Rangers, man. Rangers. If you're a Rangers fan, you gotta be sick to your stomach. Worst decision they made. Number 1, Trouba was your captain. That is literally like, to make that decision is admitting that you do not know your own team. How do you not give Chris Kreider the captaincy? He has been the best Ranger in the past decade and a half by a country mile. Respect to Shesterkin. Chris Kreider was the Ranger. When you thought of the Rangers, you thought of Kreider. You gave him the literal finger, said you are not the captain. Then you told him to F off and sent him to Anaheim, I'm pretty sure. Then you said F off to Trouba anyway. So what was the point anyway? You should have at least given it to Kreider. He was there for over a decade, and you didn't give him jack shit. You just sent both of them off. You got rid of Keandre. You got rid of damn near your whole team. And now it's what? Adam Fox, who nowhere to be found in the Norris Trophy consideration anymore. Shesterkin, nowhere near the Vezina anymore. Lafreniere, still a complete bust compared to what you were expecting him to be. Just a terrible joke of an organization. Just James Dolan, man. Like, that guy can only run one team well at a time, and even then, he still sucks as an owner. It's terrible, man. It is what it is, though. Hurricanes, we win a ton of games and then lose in the second or third round. We have literally won a playoff series for, I believe this is the 9th straight year. 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 9 straight years we have won a playoff series. And we have not even gotten to the finals yet. It is what it is. The main reason is that McClendon has like, objectively not been bad at all this year. He just hasn't been great. He's been, like, the quintessential mid-quarterback. The fumble issue has been a big deal, but even with that, he's been mediocre. Like, he's not a turnover machine like, you know, Harrison Frost was or Austin Reed is now. He hasn't been good enough to be like, that's your guy, but he hasn't been bad enough to really bench him. Because, not counting this game, but normally he's been running the ball very well as well. So he does give you that dynamic, which sort of offsets the very questionable ball security he has with fumbles. It is what it is, though. Return is up to the 15, the 20, and St. Louis is going to get the ball at about the 22-yard line to start this drive. Need to rebuild with the Rangers. Like, I hate to say it, but you really can't. Like, you just had a perfect rebuild. The Rangers had a perfect rebuild. You had such a good team, and you did nothing with it outside of the President's Cup, which, again, more than the Carolina Hurricanes say, and you blew it up for no reason. You blew up the team for no reason. It was insane. Like, the odds that you end up getting a better scenario than what you had is insanely small. They just really messed up a lot of decisions. There's bad decisions everywhere with that team, but it is what it is. They hand off the ball to the left. It's going to be a 0-yard gain for the Battlehawks there. How do UFL teams even rebuild? Nuke your roster like the Roughnecks did. That's about it. You nuke your roster. You only bring back the guys that you thought were good, and then that's it. Play as one and turns this around means about as much as me. Oh my gosh. Ball is snapped. Throws it deep to the right. It is going to be intercepted by Columbus. I believe it's Ron Stone Jr. with the interception. Oh, man. It was a beautiful interception. That's not what you want to see if you're a Battlehawks fan. Oh, that's bad. You hate to see that. That is not what you want to see if you're a Battlehawks fan either. Yeah, this could be the lifeline for Columbus. They just got their free drive, right? I talked about Orlando in week 1. Then they got the free drive, right? Because they got the fumble right there. This is basically that same scenario. You're now essentially getting the ball at halftime. You got to score here. If you don't, you're probably screwed. We'll see what happens here. Second down now after the first play for the Columbus Aviators. 2nd and 6 now after the 4-yard gain. Oh, it's DJ Miller with the interception. I don't remember if I got the silver. I have at least the regular DJ Miller from last year, the UFL thing, which I'm pretty sure UFL does not have cards. At least I don't think they're doing it this year, which sucks, but I haven't checked, honestly. I got to go do that. Ball is snapped. McLennan throws a check down. It is caught. It's going to be about a 2-yard gain. Talking about 4-down territory potentially. In shotgun. Ball is snapped. Throws it to the right. It is caught by Tate Martin, who gets the first down and then some. It's going to be a nice first down play for the team right there. Get one more game for the Knicks. Joel who? Joel Embiid. Can't hear him, bro. First and 10 now for the Columbus Aviators. They're at their 23, or they're at the St. Louis 23-yard line. In 5 wide. Ball is snapped. Throws it over the middle. It is caught. First down. The 10. Keeps going. He's getting pulled down by his jersey, and he's going to be down at about the 3-yard line. Man, he was able to hold him. He got his jersey completely effed up, but he was still able to keep going, but doesn't get the touchdown, though. They are insanely close to a touchdown here. So I heard Harrison Frost needed minutes. Oh, God. Oh, no. Could you imagine they put him in after that? Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. And Columbus goes too fast. They get a false start penalty. They're going to lose 5 yards. Again, it's not the worst thing in the world. You're still, if you view it in the realm that it's now 1st and goal from the 8-yard line, that's not a bad thing, right? It's the beauty of a 1st and goal is that depending on where you get it, a false start penalty is not like the end-all, be-all. Look at that stat line for McClendon. 11 to 12 for 70 yards and 1 interception. He hasn't had a single ball hit the ground. So inspirational. You know, don't mind the fact that 90% of those throws are like, 2 yards, but 1st and goal for the Aviators. Another false start for the Aviators, and that's going to be on McClendon. Yep, on McClendon. Now this is a bad false start. Now you're talking about 1st and goal from 13. Now it's a bad one. See, before you could at least like pull some, well, not that bad. Now it's bad. That's bad. Look at Perez. Clapping on the sideline. Doing a Jason Garrett impression. I need a Perez deep bomb. 1st and goal for Columbus. Surely you don't get another false start penalty here, right? In shotgun. Motioning Tay from the far bottom to the close bottom of your screen. Ball is snapped. McClendon looks. He's rushing to his right. He's going to throw it over the middle to Tay Martin, and it is a touchdown. Tay Martin. Again, he has been the best player that was not a running back on this team last week, and he was genuinely his best player last week. And another great play by him, great touchdown. He got half of that himself. Big touchdown. Is now 24-13. If Columbus can make this kick, it is a 10-point game. Massive play right there. Look at that. McClendon was able to evade the sack, roll to his right, throw a great pass, a little bit over his crossbody, broke his tackle at his feet. Great play. Columbus gets the touchdown. Makes it a much closer game now. Now, naturally, we'll see what Perez can do with the answer, because he did have that interception. That did hurt him. Now, both quarterbacks have 1 interception. Granted, McClendon's is overall not as bad because it wouldn't happen, and the fact that Ricky kind of bailed him out in it. Let's see if this kick is made. If it is a 10-point game. If not, it's 11. Bit close, but he made it. It is 24-14. Columbus is down by 10. Always Nix is trending. Nixon 4 is trending. What about Lakers in 5? Nixon 4 trending. Now let's see the Timberwolves Spurs game 9-1. Okay, we're already off to a great start. The Canadians won 5-1. Let's go. Let's make that series go as far as possible. Let's make them both teams as tired as possible so we can sweep them as well. We've got to get the broom out. We're going to get the broom out tomorrow against Philly. We're going to kick their ass tomorrow, and then we're going to, get some rest, and then we're going to head into the next series all well rested, and we're going to kill that team as well. And then we better. Because if we don't, man, just saying it like. Especially the NHL we're talking about. The NHL is the league of firing your coach despite having success. Are we having a laugh? There we go. Lakers in 7, trust me. I don't know about that. But we'll see. What's some random stuff? Gritty, man. Gritty about to get swept tomorrow. We're gonna use the broom. We're gonna sweep him up. We're gonna sweep him up. We're gonna send him outside, bro. Go back. Stay in Philly. Lakers in 7. I don't know about that. Poor Lakers, man. You didn't get it. You didn't get Luka back. You're screwed. I know they're talking about arguably the stats are better without Luka against this specific team, but at the end of the day, it's like, man, you're cooked. It's going to be the Spurs versus the Thunder, and then it's going to be whoever wins that series versus the Knicks. I'm just saying, if the Knicks or Hurricanes do not make their conference final, I'm going to phrase that. They do not make the finals, the coach got to be fired. I understand Rod has done a lot for our team, but if we can't make it out of this year's East, there's no reason to keep him as head coach, because there's nothing we can do that'll fix this team. You already fought. I know you already got rid of your GM. You keep changing goalies every damn year, pretty much. You keep trading for guys. If we not get to the final this year, someone's got to go, and somebody's got to be Mr. Awful Power Play himself, Rod Vandermoor. Mr. Pass, miss a shot, pass, shoot. On the power play, got to go. if we don't make it to the final. If we do make it to the final, keep him. But we'll see. Can Cleveland get rid of Detroit for us? You got James Harden on your team, man. That's the one thing that sucks. You got James Harden on your team. You know, in my members video, I said the one issue that's really withholding Cleveland from winning the championship is they got James Harden on their team. The brighter the lights get, I know Jared Allen is the guy that's famous for it, but the brighter the lights, the worse Harden plays. He's playing like some trash last 2 weeks. Last 2 games, he's got more turnovers than field goals made. That's your starting point guard? Yikes. Turn at the 3-yard line, up to the 10, the 15, the 20. Cuts inside the 25, and he's going to be down at about the 26, 27-yard line. Perez threw a pick. Yeah, he did throw a pick. And Columbus was able to score off that pick. The 42-year-old Zamboni driver. Hey, that was a classic. That was a classic, we call that. We call that a classic. But seriously, like, I've heard a lot of Hurricanes fans be like, oh, we need a better goalie. And it's like, dude, you know, we said this when we had Mrazek and Reimer. It was like, oh, look how good Mrazek's playing. We're good. Oh, Reimer's going off. Nedeljkovic. People forget about him. Or not Nedeljkovic. Yeah, Nedeljkovic. Now I got Kochetkov. You know, we had the bus for a little bit. Got Freddie, who's overall been the best goalie, like, since Cam Ward for us, but it is what it is. First down for the Battlehawks. Ball snap. Could have been a false start there. Throws a check down to Jarvin Howard. He breaks the first tackle. Gets about 7-8 yards on the play. Great play by Howard overall. Could have ended up losing 3 yards. Instead, gained about 7. Really good play. We'll see what they do here on second down now. 2nd and 2. They are going to call it about an 8-yard gain. Yeah, that ended the first half. I don't know if you saw it, but at the end of the first half, Ricky completely screwed you guys. You guys should be up 27 to 14, but Ricky used the timeout for no reason. Like, literally no reason. He used the timeout, and they ended up not having time to call a timeout. And they're trying to blame the ref. No, you should use the timeout. So they screwed themselves. Ball snap. They hand it off to Howard. Gets the first down, and the 40, and is down at about the 30, or about the 42-yard line. The 42-yard line now for St. Louis. We'll see what they do here. 63 total yards for Jarvin Howard. Again, he had that great first play early on where he fumbled the ball, and then they ended up picking it up and got another 20 yards on the fumble recovery, which is hilarious how that works. 1st and 10 with under 10 minutes left in the third quarter. Bit of a slow game going on right now. Ball is snapped. Perez throws a check down to Howard, who gets up to the 45. Down about the 49-yard line is Jarvin Howard. At least Ricky didn't waste a challenge. He always wastes time as a challenge. Yeah, he almost wasted a challenge, though. He almost did earlier. But we'll see. Never say never. You might be saying that a bit too early, 314. Oh, man. You might be saying that too early. We'll see, though. 2nd and 1. They're doing, again, they've been using the Wildcat a lot. They got Blake Jackson at the quarterback position. They hand it off, and they're going to lose a couple of yards on the play. There is a flag. It flew kind of weird. We'll see what this flag is. Looks like they're looking for offsides or neutral zone infraction. We'll see if they get it. That's what it looks like, yep. Right? Oh, face mask. Big penalty on Columbus. It's going to lose about 15 yards, so massive gain for the Battlehawks there. Showing this again. Okay, there you go. Yeah. The initial part did not look like a face mask, but then he grabbed him when he was pulling his hand through. Can't do that. At the very beginning, that wasn't a face mask. That was him on his head. But then, when he was going over, he, started to grab, and they showed at the very end. So that was a face mask. Just that viewing that they showed you does not look like it. Ja'Cour Pearson catches it for the first down gain. Gets about 4 extra yards. About a 15-yard pass. St. Louis is in real good field goal range here, but obviously they want a touchdown. We will see if they can get it. Great throw, wide open, nobody even really near him. Everybody's about 5 yards away from him and is able to get it. I still can't believe Anaheim's even in the playoffs, let alone beating the Oilers is hilarious. 1st and 10 now for the St. Louis Battlehawks at the 20-yard line exact. 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Ball is snapped. They hand it off to the left. Lattilis gets taken down for about a 4-yard loss. Nice, David. I knew someone else was going to stop in here that was at the game. Hope you're having a great time there. I mean, hey, he only has 1 interception so far. It's not the worst interception in the world, again, compared to what Frost is doing. And again, it's like we talked about with Frost, he wouldn't even be able to keep consistent drives. Perez has done that. Perez has been very solid tonight, for sure. Definitely love to see that. Yeah, especially with the rust, like, he really should be rusty, but he really is not looking too rusty. Use it a decent amount of time, only 3.5 minutes used. They got to use a bit more. Got to keep this game going quicker. You do not want to give Columbus drives. And it's going to be a flag. Too many men in the field, defensive penalty. Yeah, only 1 point. Yeah, you got free throws and only made 1 of them. Like, bruh. Captain Munderland not happy. The sword with wings is doing well. Second and 8 for the Battlehawks. On Demon time with reactions. 7 minutes left, a little over 7 minutes in the third quarter. Hakeem is going to the bottom of your screen. Ball is snapped. They hand it off. Oh, wide open middle of the field. 5. Touchdown. Kevin Lattilis gets the touchdown. It is 30-14. St. Louis, or it's Keelan James, my bad. Keelan James with the touchdown. It is 30-14. St. Louis is above Columbus. Wide open. They ran it. They did not expect that. He had a wide open rush right for the end zone. Great play, and they get it. Yeah, it is probably game for sure. There it is right there. Just easy touchdown. Captain is not happy. Oh, he's not happy. 30-14. Now Columbus is forced to do something that they hate doing. Throwing the football. What's he gonna do? Look at Harrison Frost, man. He's so happy. He's not having everybody on Twitter flame him for, not playing good at quarterback. Kick is up. It is a beautiful kick right up the middle. It is 31-14. St. Louis has the lead. Harrison Frost was an experience. That's one way to call it. That's like saying James Morgan was an experience, or Jared Garantano, or Anthony Brown. I will say, like, as the apparently viewed as the #1 Orlando Storm hater, I don't think the Storm are as bad as people are saying they are. Now, do I think they are on St. Louis and DC's level? No. But do I think that they're much closer to their level than a lot of other people are saying? Yes. Like I said, if you lose the turnover battle 3-0 and you only lose the game by 3, that either says one of two things or a mix of both. The team that won the turnover battle really sucks, or you are really good. It was a 3-point game. After the first 2 drives, Orlando outscored Birmingham 17-6. And that's despite having more turnovers later in the game. Jack Plummer showed that he can legitimately throw the football, which was something we actually had questions about up until this game, because every other game he was throwing 2-yard checkdowns. He finally threw it and looked great doing it. So if they fix his fumble problems, their defense doesn't really allow a lot of points. Do I think they're a bit overrated because they're the #1 defense in points allowed? Yes, but I think they're a top 4 unit. I think Orlando is very much like a step behind DC and St. Louis. We'll see if they can get the win again. If they lose to Houston, you're cooked. But if they get the W, I think they will. I think they are a team that could pull it off. Could. It's like 8 steps. I wouldn't say 8 steps behind. Because at the end of the day, if Jack Plummer fixes his fumble issue that he had last game and he gives you that type of performance, he's literally a top 3 quarterback in the league. Arguably top 2 at that point. If he's able to do what he did passing without the fumbles, it's a top 2 quarterback. So you got a top 2 quarterback right there. You still got a lot of really good receivers. The ground game needs to be more consistent. Their ground game, I don't trust St. Louis's ground game, but I trust it more than Orlando's. Defense, I trust-wise, both of them equally. Which do I like more? St. Louis's for sure. The return is up to the 25, the 30, the 35, and he's going to be down about the 37-yard line. Harrison Frost, man. Harrison Frost was so bad. Man, I can't believe we had to watch Harrison Frost for all those weeks. That was rough. That was rough. Oh, man. You man doing an option play. You just hand it off to your running back to run to 3 straight guys is diabolical work. McClellan did. Jalen White, you do that to him. First and 10 for the Columbus Aviators. Got 7 minutes left in this quarter to do something. It's still a 2-score game, for whatever it's worth. They throw it, fake the throw. McClellan's going to roll. Just run it. Yep, he just dives down. Gains about 4.5 yards with that Joe Flacco off slide dive attempt. 11 turnovers is crazy. Putting the fries in the bag. I mean, hey, Reed Sinnett dominated the ELF. So Harrison Frost might be... I mean, Reed Sinnett was better than Frost, but with how much he dominated the ELF, dude, he might be able to do something over there, you know. Go to Germany, baby. Let's see. In shotgun. 2nd and 4. Ball is snapped. McClellan, he's going to run for some reason there, and he ends up losing about 5 yards. It's going to be a, 3rd and 10 now. My goodness. Or no, it's going to be about 3rd and 8. My bad. 3rd and 8. Except for DC. I mean, hey, this is true. The one thing I think is going to be very interesting is if DC keeps winning, when do we see teams start to bench guys? Because if you're DC, really any team, there's no real, incentive to be the 1 seed aside from just wanting to play at, the 4 seed. So I guess that's a big incentive, but, if you're DC, are you really going to go all out for the 1 seed, or are you just going to be fine getting the 2 seed? Because then if you get the 2 seed, you get back-to-back home games if you win. So we'll see. 3rd and 8. Because I will say, remember, in terms of spring football, this is not the NFL who, for 52 years, the host never went there. In the UFL, we have seen one instance of a team hosting a championship game make it. Now, I used host a bit loosely, but the Maulers did technically host in Canton. They were one of the 2 teams. They were the main home team there. And they were able to make it to the championship game. San Antonio, no. St. Louis, no. St. Louis again, no. 2022, no, because it was in Tom Benson. So, you technically have had it happen before where a team makes it, so it's not like it's impossible for DC to make it based on odds, the NFL was. We'll see. Columbus did use a timeout. They had that one. I'm more okay with that one because you do have to get this. This is borderline go for it territory. If you gain even 5 yards, you're probably going to go for this. I mean, technically you don't have to, but you probably will go for this if you get close. In shotgun, 2 receivers to your left. Technically through at the tight end, and McClellan's going to throw to the right instead. There is going to be flags. I don't know who they're going to call for the flag. You could easily do either one. If they call it DPI, I got to see the replay, though. Michael Ojemudia, one of the big losses for DC. That's one of the ones that wasn't talked about a ton. We talked about Anthony Hines a lot. Ojemudia was a big loss for DC and a big gain for St. Louis. Yep, offensive penalty. 3rd and 8 for the Columbus Aviators. Yeah, the extension arms was bad. So, OPI right there. Now, if you're the Aviators, you're kind of in a really bad situation. Hey, fake it, bro. We saw last week. Why not? Have the punter throw it. Throw the ball, baby. They are not faking it. Punt is up. Covered at the 15. And he gets down at the 15. So good coverage, but St. Louis, man, they could eat a lot of time here. They're pulling for the Hawks. If any team in this league deserves a ring, it's them at the Social League. I don't think this, if not for them, but that's just me. It's definitely a tough one. The amount of fans they've had has been crazy. Actually, this year's a bit less, but we'll see. Overall, though, man, It is not looking good for the Aviators right now. Let's see. What is trending? SmackDown. Paul George is still trending. Oh my god. Bunch of other stuff I do not care. Yes! Playoff P is trending. Oh, it's great. That's terrible. Playoff PED, I forgot about that. Which slander nickname for Paul George is the best? Pandemic P, PED. I thought there was another one. Playoff, or I don't know. I know there's like another PED one that works better, but you got, Playoff P from Stephen A. Way Off P. That was a classic, dude. If you watched The Bubble Man when he hit that corner three and he just, he literally hit the backboard. That was crazy. It was hilarious. Pandemic P was a great nickname. Yeah, that was a great one. Yeah, like I said, I do think the Kings probably host the title game next year. I'd honestly be a bit shocked if it's not them. I think they're probably hosting the title game next year. Like I said, if the UFL is smart, you change every year. And I don't mean like go back and forth between two teams. You change every year, right? I mean, it's just common sense, right? If you want to have fans that are going to go to every single game, you got to have them in different markets. Or so then, if you go around 8 different teams, this is saying that you stay at 8 teams, which we know they're not playing to. You can keep going to each one. So then every 8 years you go back to a city, you're okay doing that. If you say every 8 years I'll go to this city, you're okay with that. You got to change it. So we'll see what ends up happening. We'll see. Kings hosting a playoff game would be electric if you're BT to Columbus. It ain't looking good. It is not looking good whatsoever for them at all. 1st and 10 for the St. Louis Battlehawks. 2 receivers on both sides of the ball. They run it up the middle. That's going to be about a 1 yard, no, about a half-yard gain. I mean, without this season, when 1 and 3 is somehow going to get you into playoffs, well, that's purely because the other teams are choking, which is hilarious, but yeah. Second and 9 for the St. Louis Battlehawks. Neil Rivals from DC, that would be that is true. That would be good karma from what happened last year for sure. 2nd and 9 for the St. Louis Battlehawks. Ball is snapped. Perez fakes the throw, and he's getting taken down. It's going to be about a 6-yard loss right there. So big sack for Columbus. Try to get this ball back quickly. 4 minutes left. They're going to snap this ball with about 3:30, 3:40 left in the third quarter. So we got a lot of time left. And very untypical Columbus game. Much slower game than normally played. Like, it's already 10-15. So yeah. I'm just giving a hug. You do hate seeing that. The NFL is going to look at that and be like, that's how you have to get sacks now. You cannot take them even to the ground. 3rd and 15. Ball is snapped. Perez throws it deep to the left. Oh, man. I think his teammate just cost him an interception. They're, like, looking happy. I think that they just cost an interception. I'll see the replay. Now it's 4th and 15. You're going to force the punt here. Yeah, that would have been a pick. That's Okay, so... No, never mind. Not bad. No, he whiffed that catch. Even if he didn't hit him, he was whiffing that catch. That's the typical... Say the line, everybody. That's why he plays defense and not offense. Because that should have been a catch. That was not on the other defender hitting him. He was already wildly missing that catch. Punt is up. It's going to be recovered up to the 40, the 35, the 30. Out of bounds at about the 29-yard line. Great return right there for the Aviators. There is a flag. See what ends up happening here with this flag. Because there was a bit of a collision. Some guys fell down, so we'll see exactly what this is in a second. 2-1, Vegas is leading over the Ducks. Shea Theodore and Braden McNabb have the goals. The Timberwolves game is only 1-point game now at the end of the first quarter. Ooh. Is Rudy doing his job? Anthony Edwards got 10 points. People thought he was going to miss like most of the playoffs, and he's ended up already back. It's crazy. Yep, there's the hit right there. That got the flag. First step for the Aviators now. They got a score here. It is still technically a 2-score game. Obviously, the UFL, you have 3-point conversion, so this is a 2-score game. That's the one thing that you are, a bit happy about if you're an Aviators fan. Now, do you really want to go for 3 if you score a touchdown here? No, because it's hard to get it. But you might have to be thinking about that. So we'll see. Probably going to go for 2 at least, make it, closer game, but we'll see what they end up doing. If you go for 2, you make it a 9-point game to where, if you do get a field goal, it's a 6-point game, but we'll see. 3 minutes left. We got about 18 total minutes left. See if the Aviators can actually score here. Shame they got the penalty because they should be having this ball at really good field position. Instead, it's not, right? Instead, you're pretty far back, all things considered, compared to where you really should be, but yeah. It is crazy to think that 27 is a 3-score game. It is crazy to think about that in that perspective. Like, that's really crazy to think about, but it's true. Hey, there's a chance. Never know. You are within about 10 yards of true field goal range, at least. McClendon rolls to his right. He's going to look deep. He's going to throw it deep. He's an end zone shot. It's too deep. Incomplete pass. And he could have gotten that. He did have his man. His man was beat. Just threw a bit too deep. So 2nd and 10 now. Again, you are forced to go for it or kick the field goal. You really want to get closer. The worst part with where you are right now with who your kicker is in terms of trust is that if you do get to that point where it's a legitimately makeable field goal, you're pretty much at a point where you really got to go for it at that point. So kind of in a really damned if you do, damned if you don't position because you just need to score in general. But yeah, there's always a chance for the enemy team. Oh my God, never forget that week 2 game. They shouldn't be forced to use timeout. I think there was some issue with the play clock. Yeah, talking about the clock was never put up. Wow, they're getting a delay of game penalty because of, it looks like refs making a mistake. That's a pretty bad look right there. Wow. Yeah, Dean hasn't done anything. I haven't heard him whatsoever. That's crazy. I forgot about that. Look at that. 11 penalties for 80 yards is crazy. 2nd and 15 now. You got 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. You use a minute and you've done nothing with it. Got to get at least 10 yards here. At least. So let's see. Ball is snapped. McClendon throws it to the left. It is going to be... They're calling it a catch. They're calling it a nice catch, which will be about a 10-yard completion, about technically like 11 yards if they do have that stand. So let's see. That hit the ground. Yep, that hit the ground. Incomplete pass. It was 3rd and 15. This is really not good for the Aviators. Win it 46-44. What a score. Oh, my God. The 49ers come back from 24 against the Saints years ago. The Saints, man. The Saints in a defense that sucks. Classic. How did I know that was the Drew Brees era? Let me say that. It's probably the post Bounty Gate Saints defense, I should say. 3rd and 15 now for the Columbus Aviators. Again, they're about to use another minute of the clock and do nothing with it. The Jennifer Lopez rep. Again, like, you're damned. You got to go for it naturally. Like, you have to either kick it or go for it. But if you get 10 yards here, do you kick the field goal and take 3 points, or try to take 3 points, or do you go for it? We'll see. Ball is snapped. McLennan throws it. The check down. Cuts to the left. He gets to the 40. Gets to the 35, and he's out of bounds. Now, you probably go for it here. It's about 2.5 yards. You probably do go for this here. White's looking for a flag, but it doesn't look like he's going to get it. Yeah, you probably go for it here. I think you should go for it here. And they are going to go for it. I do like this call. This is a tougher kick considering your kicker has been a bit inconsistent. You do not want to deal with that. You know, him missing would be awful for you. Go for this here. Try to get it. One of the mistakes just hanging out here helps a lot. I appreciate you. Gotta love the Friday nights. Hey, it is great to do these every Friday night. Oh, hey, if the Canes are on, I might have to move a game, but we'll see. So far, I've been really lucky with scheduling being everything good. Hell, I've only had to not include, I think, 2 games in the community hero polls because of stuff being in the way of it. So, really lucky with that. But, hey, we got tomorrow's game, the Kings Defenders. So, don't be on the lookout for that one, naturally. They rush up the middle, and they're gonna... Ooh, I don't know if they got that. I don't think they got that. That's... Yeah, they're looking like it's not even close. Oh, man, I don't even know why they're spotting it like that. That's nowhere near. If you're spotting it down there, bro, you're a full 1.5 yards shy. Oh, he definitely didn't get that. Nah, he did not get that. I do think they gave a bad spot, but I don't think he got that anyway. So, yeah. St. Louis, man, this is pretty much game here. Like, that feels like game. Yes, it's a 2-score game. If St. Louis puts up any points, it's a 3-score game. So, you're St. Louis, man, you just got to score. Do not even, like, if you're a St. Louis coach right now, you are thinking, we got to get the field goal. If you get the field goal, it's game over. That makes this a 20-point game with a quarter left against this Aviators offense. That ain't happening. Like, unless your quarterback, you know, disintegrates like we saw fourth quarter Matt Corral, 20 points in a fourth quarter, you ain't coming back from that. So if you can eat up a little bit of clock, like 2 minutes at least in the fourth quarter, you can just end this game literally here. Now, you can't do that. You can't run it to the left and lose 3 yards. You can't do that. So, good first play, but it's the end of the quarter. So, end of the quarter, St. Louis is up 31-14. I'm going to go use the... I will be right back once I'm done. Alright, we back. Didn't miss anything, did I? I believe my Rockies won extra 2-2 forced leave a wild card game. What? The Steelers, Browns. Oh, isn't that when the Steelers came back at the very end? They ended up beating the Browns. Showing the games that are coming up tomorrow. 21 new posts. Okay. So in the final quarter of the game, St. Louis, what you got to do here, try to use 4 minutes and kick a field goal. That's game. If you do that, that's basically game unless you have a colossal failure. Perez throws it deep over the right. It is, incomplete. Great defense right there on Hakeem Butler. That's what you got to do if you're St. Louis. If you're Columbus, you have to get the ball back before 12 minutes. Like, you just have to. Best case scenario, you force this 3 and out, you get the ball back immediately and you score. We'll see. And Magic's, same with Giants. 10 the Oakland Aviators game back in the day. The Aviators, bro. Such a great uniform. They need to bring that. They need to bring the uniforms back, man. 3rd and 11. 3 at the bottom, 2 at the top. In shotgun. Ball is snapped. Throws it deep to the right. It is going to be almost intercepted. It's going to be incomplete. They do get the 4th down force, so they can now punt this ball. So Columbus does get a bit of life. Granted, they have to do the toughest thing for them all day, score on a consistent drive. If they can do that, you know, they got a shot. They do got to get 1 3-point conversion or a field goal at some point. So it still is definitely like, it's a 2-score game, but it's a rough 2-score game. It should have been intercepted. Wouldn't have been like an unbelievable interception in regards to where it was in the field. It still would have been a great one, but we'll see. Let's see what happens. 4th and 11. The punt is up. It's going to be recovered at about the 15-yard line. Tries to cut to the left. After cutting inside, he keeps going and he falls down the 20-yard line. There we go. 1st and 10 for the Columbus Aviators at the 21-yard line. Ball is snapped. Delayed handoff. They cut inside. Gets to the 5-yard gain. Gets about a 9-yard gain. They're going to be down at about the exact 30-yard line. Too bad I wasn't alive back then. Oh, man. Yeah, bro, you missed it. The Generals, man. Herschel Walker. You seen him live? Man, that would have been crazy. Ball snap, they hand it off again, they get the 1st down, get about 6 yards on the carry, about 7 actually on the carry. Good run for Lovett. Only thing that's a bit sketchy, you don't want to use too much time. There's a Battlehawk player down right now, so the clock is being stopped for a second. That's on TV in Sacramento. Going to another commercial break because of the injury right now. Punishment for Framer Valdez. All he did was hit a guy with a pitch. Notifications, just some random stuff. Perez still shaking off the rust. Hey, he's still looking a lot better than a certain somebody that was their coach. I mean, the quarterback. I'm not going to name names or anybody, but he's looking a lot better than that guy. 3-0 at the end of the 1st. Oh, my God. Mitch Marner scored Oh man, dude, those poor Maple Leafs fans are shaking like, what? We let Mitch Marner score? Oh my god. Mitch Marner, the Maple Leafs, bro. That's another one of those franchises that's like become a borderline joke. I wonder. Mitch Marner, the Cup rookie. Surely it's still not that expensive, right? Bruh, ain't no way you're gonna pay $2,000 for a Mitch Marner Cup or PA. That brother is hella mid. And by mid I mean good, but not like that. Holy crap, that sold for like $1,500. Okay, that's a bit more realistic. Even then, $1,000 for a Mitch Marner Cup RPA. What are we doing, bro? We acting like Mitch Marner is like elite. That's crazy, bro. Let me look at his points. Let me see. Am I just yapping? A little bit. Okay, a little bit. He did score 100 points with. My bad. Still, that much? I don't know about that much, but hey. He had less goals than Svetch. Lol. I did not see who got hurt. They immediately took it off. Looks like Jordan Mosley was hurt for a bit, but he's already back standing on the sideline. So he looks fine. Trying to wear down all game. I'm grasping here. Some blame on it. 1st and 10. Ball is snapped. Quick throw to the left. There's going to be a flag here. It's going to be a false start on the Aviators. Oh my god. Won't even have played game 3 yet. I don't know if I've ever seen them. Yeah, I couldn't believe that either. The fact that, because I mean, really what it was game 1 should never have been on Saturday. I think game 1 was on Saturday. It was like 2 days after the Flyers played game 7. They're like, F it, game 1. And so you played that before even the Montreal-Tampa Bay series was even over, I believe. So, and then you had game 2 be played before game 1 was played. It's crazy. I mean, it really is crazy. Hurricanes get a break. Granted, they already got a break playing the Senators and the Flyers. They played arguably the 2 worst teams in the entire postseason. Granted, I don't know what that says about Pittsburgh, but still. McLennan throws a check down, and it is an underthrown ball to Tay Martin, so it's incomplete. 2nd and 15. So, like, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. You know, that knowing the Hurricanes, it's somehow going to hurt us in the end. We're going to end up being, like, completely, like, not ready for it. We're going to lose, but like I said, if we did not make it to the Stanley Cup, something went drastically wrong. No disrespect, but we are a much better team than both Buffalo and Montreal, and obviously Philly. The only team I was ever scared of was the Lightning at full strength, and they weren't at full strength, and they got bounced. Ball is snapped, throws over the middle, it is caught. It's about they might call that an 11-yard gain for the Aviators. Dude, Nolan Ryan was around forever. He was around forever. Granted, it's not like Gordie Howe. You can literally say to like anyone that looks like 40, did you watch Gordie Howe play? And the answer is probably yes, because that guy played till he was 50. Ball is snapped. He's going to run for it. He gets the first down and then slides to the 50-yard line. He was 100% around the 70s. I believe he was around the 80s. I'm viewing it based on cards. I'm just trying to think of what cards he has. And like I know he was in the 70s, obviously. He might have been in the early 80s. I do not remember for sure because I'm just trying to think. Like his rookie, I think was like 60. Ooh, no, his rookie was like 68. I think. Yeah, so maybe. 1st and 10. Ball is snapped. Throws it over the middle. Incomplete. Yeah, Nolan Ryan was like a slightly lesser career in terms of like longevity than Gordie Howe. Like Gordie Howe literally played until he was 50. Like I think he was like 52 when he stopped playing. Like that's insane. But he was close. It's going to be the Avalanche for the Hurricanes. I would not be stunned if Avalanche Hurricanes are in that series and they have a combined like 2 losses all postseason long. Like those are the clear-cut 2 best teams right there. Ball is snapped. They rush up the middle. McLennan gets the first down and slides. Like, I thought Minnesota would get it done. That was just a hunch. They technically did get it done. They won a playoff series, but Colorado and Carolina should go into the Cup final, like, with max 2 losses combined. Because they are so much better than the rest of their team. Yeah, because 67 is Seaver and Carew. 68, I believe that's the like the brown border set, and that I also think is Johnny Bench's year. I think it's Johnny Bench and Nolan Ryan are both 68, I believe. I wish Royce was here. He probably, I know he's more of a football guy, but I believe he would know as well. I think it's 68. Let me check. Let me make sure I'm not capping. I wouldn't call Carolina a fluke. The bottom line is Carolina has been the best team in hockey for the last decade by technical win percentage. Hasn't done jack shit for it, but they have done. In terms of deep, they are the deepest team. The way I like to view the Hurricanes, their 10th best player is better than your team's 5th best player. But our best player is not even your 3rd best player. Like, that's the thing that's both great and awful about the Hurricanes. We do not have a single player that would be like a first-line guy on any other team. But, like, our third-line guys would easily be on every team's second line. It's the most aggravating part in a beautiful way, as it hurts the Hurricanes but also helps them. It's just really effed up. That's the one thing. It's just, you know, you, like, love it, but you hate it. Yeah, 68 tops isn't Ryan's rookie. Okay, I was right about that. So, yeah, Ryan is 68. That's the same year as Johnny Bench, if I'm not mistaken. Ball is snapped. They throw the check down. They get to the 35, the 30, and it's going to be, they might give him the first down. They're going to come half a yard shy. And, yeah, Johnny Bench rookie is all 68 in this, okay. I know a good amount of those. See those guys go. Jackie Robinson or Babe Ruth. 1st and 10. In shotgun. Ball is snapped. Throw to the left is caught. Tay Martin gets the first down. He gets to the 15, and he's down about the 12, 13-yard line. Great play by him right there. Love to see that if you are an Aviators fan. Tay Martin has been incredible, and he gets the first down right there. Man, so many of those classic players you would have wished you got to see. Like Dan Marino, imagine seeing him live. You didn't. Ooh. Then, like, Marion Motley into Jim Brown. Like, dude, if you were a Browns fan back in the 40s and 50s and the 60s, oh, my God. It's caught, but it's going to be caught at the line of scrimmage. Going to be tackled at it, so it's going to be 2nd and 10. Dude, if you were a Browns fan back in the 50s and the 60s, man, you went from Marion Motley to Jim Brown. Like, God damn, bro. That's crazy. 2nd and 10 for the Columbus Aviators. So Marion Motley and the Jim Brown. Got those guys right there. Tay Martin is on the sideline. Not what you want to see if you're an Aviators fan. In shotgun. 3 receivers lined up a bunch at the top of your screen. 1 at the bottom of your screen. Ball is snapped. Gets pressured. And he's going to take this sack. It's going to be about a 7-yard loss. Not good. Now, you are in the 4th quarter. You could go for the 4th and 12 if you want to kick a field goal here. It makes it easier when it comes to touchdown point. We'll see. Dude, if Ernest Biner didn't fumble that damn ball, or if you didn't let John Elway go 90 yards down the field, which I think the technically saying, you know what I mean, like, there goes a good team. Bernie Kosar, very solid quarterback. One of those teams that, like, I don't know what the perfect comparison is in today's time, but there's probably a team I'm thinking of today that you can probably look at in a very similar way that, like, was a lot like that 80s Browns team, like a really good team that just couldn't really get over the hump. But, yeah. Dorsey is Dylan Gabriel. Hey, but Deshaun Watson's coming back. This time he'll be back to his prime form. Trust me, guys. What a, oh my God. What a, something else. Yeah, Brian Sipe before, Crosar, MVP winner. Went to the USFL. The Generals. Generals mentioned. Brian Sipe. You mentioned Brian Sipe. You're clearly mentioning New Jersey Generals quarterback Brian Sipe. You know, that guy who came in and then was replaced by Doug Flutie the year after because Trump was like, let's get another Heisman winner. Let's go, baby. Denver immediately won the cup. Yeah, the Nordiques, man, that was classic. That was a yeah, Carl Davis has been great for the team. He's been awesome for the Battlehawks. He'd probably get another all UFL. Yeah, the Nordiques going to Colorado is a classic, bro. I mean, hey, you had that. You had Patrick Waugh and the Canadians. I mean, all the Habs had to do was pull their goalie, and they didn't. And then he went right up to him and said, I'm never playing for you again. They traded him, and he ended up winning multiple Conn Smites afterwards. Remember, he was the main reason, like, not the main, that was a great team, the Canadians back in the 90s, but, you know, they haven't won a Stanley Cup Canada since the Patrick Waugh won, so, yikes. 3rd and 16 for the Columbus Blue Jackets. In shotgun, ball is snapped. Throws to the left, it is caught. Gets to about the 10-yard line. That's a tough question. It probably a sport I care about the most, so Wilt Chamberlain would be crazy. Arnold Palmer versus Jack Nicklaus would be great. But Wilt Chamberlain, like, if you were to say a player, it's Wilt. Like, I think Wilt is probably, like, that's the one I would think of. If it's to see how a league was, I wouldn't mind going back to ball. Wait, 4th and 7. They're going to go for it here. Ball is snapped. McClellan's going to throw it. It's a touchdown. They caught it. It's a touchdown. It is 31-20. Columbus is getting back in, and now you are at a very weird position. You're at 11 points. You have to go for at least 2. If you do not go for at least 2, there is some very, very questionable decision-making going on. Got to go for 2 here. Like, going to watch hockey in, like, the 1910s or 20s would be very interesting, or even the 30s, you know, seeing how it was played back then when a lot of rules were different, you know, like a Vezina, Tiny Thompson, Hainsworth, Morenz, you know, the Babe Ruth of hockey, Howie Morenz, watching the OG guys, Newsy, the Phantom, Joe Malone, Frank Nybor, Hap Day, just Art Ross, obviously, would be crazy to see live. Newsy was such a dick, apparently, but, you know, you had Cyclone back then in the 1910s. Kick is up. It is doinks. It is not good. Hold up. Why are you going for 1 there? Oh, my God. Ted Ginn. Ted Ginn. My... Deserved miss. That's what you call ball don't lie. Why are you going for 1? Like, stupid. Stupid coaching. Stupid coaching, but yeah. Yeah, like, watching hockey, like, live would be just crazy back in the day. Seeing those times, whether it's the 1910s, whether it's the 1920s or 30s. That would be really cool, but like I said, if it's a single player, Wilt, like, just seeing Wilt, like, the year he averaged 50 points would be just crazy. But if it was for a sport, probably the hockey in the 10s to the 30s. Yeah, Ted Ginn, I don't know what this guy's thinking. He's done this before. Like, I don't remember what stream it was, but he did this before, where he was at a very similar situation, where he had a really stupid, like, decision, where it was a terrible one. It's just, oh my God. But yeah, it is what it is. Just, you're down 11. The UFL, for those of you that don't know, I assume most of you do, but just in case, has a 3-point conversion. So 9 points is a 1-score game. You are down 11. Do the math. If you score a 1 point, it is a 10-point game. That is a 2-score game. If you score a 2-pointer, it's a 1-score game. Even if you're judging by what if we get a field goal, even if you're doing that, you still go for 2. If you go for 2 and then you get a field goal, you don't have to then go for the other one. Then you can score a touchdown and kick an extra point to win the game. Unbelievably stupid decision-making. Stupid decision-making. Ted Ginn and dumb decisions. Classic combo, right? Celebrating your birthday, you know, before your birthday and before a game. Hopping in the car. Getting pulled over and arrested. Bad decision. Bad decision here. Why are you going for 1? Down 11. That's stupid. Because now you're already... Because now you have to go 4th and 12. Like, here's the thing. If he does not go for 4th and 12 here, he really has no idea what he's doing. Because now you're viewing it that you want to score 3 times. So you got to go for this 4th and 12 here. Because if you don't, you really have no idea what you're doing. Because then it's like, what was the point? Crazy. Like, legitimately, whoever loses this game just saying, in case Columbus wins, whoever loses this game, their coach gets most of the blame. Because if the Battlehawks do lose, it's entirely because Ricky got rid of 3 free points that they had because of a stupid timeout. And if the Columbus Aviators lose, there's a good chance it's because of that. And they're kicking it off. My God, why are you kicking it off? You just told the entire world, we are going for 4th and 12. Why else would you only kick the 1? Stupid. Returns up to the 20. Gets down at the 20. My God. First and 10 for the St. Louis Battlehawks. Let's see if they can end this. It is true what Holmes is saying. 10-play drive, eat up a ton of clock, and you can win this game. Ted Ginn, my God. What a decision, man. Let's go for 1. Sure, we're down 11. Sure, 9 is a one-score game. Let's go for 1. Trust me, bro. It'll work. Again, bro, even if you miss and you get a field goal, it's the same shit anyway. 1st and 10 for the Battlehawks. 7 minutes left. 11 seconds. In shotgun. 3 receivers at the top of your screen. Columbus showing blitz. They are blitzing, and they are running. They get a good tackle. It's going to be like a half-yard loss. Literally pulling against him. Bro's rooting for his team to choke. Or to tank. Second and 10 for the St. Louis Battlehawks now. Six and a half minutes left. They're going to be able to eat up some clock here. That's what you want to do if you're a St. Louis fan. You want to just keep this clock churning slowly but surely. But you got to get a first down. Ball is snapped. Throws over the middle. It is caught, but it's going to be about a 5.5-yard gain. There is a flag. Let's see what this flag is. This could be really good for Columbus, or this could be really bad for him. Might be roughing the passer, they're saying. So, Tom Player, it's roughing the passer. Steven is, or was. The UFL risen because I've been hanging out with friends. This is a weird game. I'm not going to lie. This is a weird game. Perez is doing solid, but now we're looking at a potential roughing the passer maybe. We'll see. 2nd and 19 quarterback draw with Johnson Kirkland. Oh my god, dumbest play call of the year. That's dumbest play call of the year right there. So show the replay. Was this roughing the passer or are we BSing? I want to see another replay. I'm going to be real with you. I don't like that call. I'm going to be real with you. He had an offensive lineman right on him. You are literally telling him that he cannot go after Perez. I do not like that call. It was head-to-head. But that is one of those... I like this. This is one of those where you have to call like spade a spade. If the offensive lineman is shoving him one way, if he goes the other way, he's losing precious time to get the quarterback. I do not like that call. That was a bad roughing. What do you want the defender to do there? Not a fan of that. The whole point of the UFL is so that we don't have these issues. What I talked about last year or 2 years ago, I did a video about roughing the passer in the NFL. How NFL roughing the passer is like a complete joke. They'll call it for literally anything, and how the UFL is supposed to not do that. That's one that shouldn't be. So far this season, it's been honestly pretty much perfect. I think up until this point, there's been almost no really bad roughing the passer calls. Maybe one was like iffy. That one I think was bad. Like, he's talking about he shouldn't have led with his head. What do you want him to do there? There is physically nothing he could do unless he fully disengages with the lineman, which then puts him at a disadvantage because, spoiler alert, if a guy's, to quote Charles Barkley, if a guy's banging you, right, you gotta do something back to him. So if he's shoving you to your left, and then you get out of your right, where you're pushing, to then go left, you are then getting doubly forced to the left, meaning you're gonna miss Perez entirely. Like, that's not roughing the passer. There's nothing he could have done. It was a stupid challenge. That's supposed to be reviewed normally. But that shouldn't have been roughing the passer. Because there's nothing he could have done aside from literally lose the play. And if you're forcing a guy to lose the play for that, that's stupid. About a 3-yard loss to St. Louis. Again, they just got to eat up clock. St. Louis can eat up clock and another first down solid. No, but you're missing the point. You're missing what I'm saying. The reason he wasn't pushed is because he's forcing him one way. Like, it's like if I do this, and you can see I'm putting force here. Like, neither of my hands are going the other way because they're both pushing each other. But now if I go like this, you know what just happened? I'm pushing here with my right hand, and I'm now going left with my left hand. So now I lose my hand. if he disengages, he gets shoved out and he misses Perez entirely. So there's nothing he could have done. Like, just because he wasn't directly pushed into him doesn't mean he wasn't pushed into him in that regard. He has to fight him to stay here because Perez is where my face is. So if he's coming in here and then he lets go, he's going to evade like that. Instead, he hits like that, which is what he had to do. That's why it shouldn't have been called. 3rd and 13 for the St. Louis Battlehawks. Even though they might be stuck here and forced to punt this ball here, they were able to kick off another, 4 minutes, which is definitely really solid. Again, Ted Ginn, man, great use going for 1 and then not even getting it anyway. He's only have about 5 minutes to do something, technically less than 5 minutes. Pass throw to the left, it is caught. Pearson tries to do an end-around run, is not able to get it. He's going to be down there. There is a flag here. This could be big. We'll see what this flag is. You want to sound like QB got to pull up a yellow blanket. Stay for the physics lesson. Oh my gosh. Face mask on the defense. Oh my gosh, great. Ooh, beautiful pitch. Yeah, the face mask. That's a face mask. That's a face mask right there. He literally held him right here and just shoved him. Terrible play. Willikis, man, what are you doing? 14th penalty. Oh my god. 14 penalties. Most in the UFL this season. Hey, breaking records. Hey, record performance by the Aviators. Really impressive. Battlehawks didn't break a single record tonight. That's not impressive. The Aviators broke a record. Most penalties in a game. Let's go for the season. Ball is snapped. They rush it up the middle, and they gain about 3 yards on the carry. Only good thing I can say right here for the Aviators. If you force them to go for it here because they're past midfield, because you can stop them before 2 minutes. You can do something. We'll see. Yeah, this Aviators coaching staff needs to be... That's why, it's like the one thing I gave some credit, even though I was not a big fan at the time of the Glenn Logan hire, I understood it. If you're a first-time head coach, you better be hiring experienced coordinators. Captain Munnerlyn was not an experienced coordinator. Ball is snapped, they hand it off. Another good play by the Aviators defense. They hold him about a half-yard gain. Yeah, put Todd Haley as the head coach, let him hire some guys. You know why Chris Redmond isn't getting as much flack as AJ or Ted Ginn? Because he went and hired guys that have experience, right? Now, before somebody says Tyler Siskey has experience, that's like saying that I could be, a guy in the Pentagon because, hey, I make YouTube videos, right? It's close enough to technology stuff. No. That's what Tyler Siskey was. He did coach a little bit 2 decades ago, but, yeah. Ball is snapped. He throws it deep to the right. Incomplete pass. 4th and 9. They got to go for it. They are not at 2 minutes, meaning they cannot punt this one. We are at the 4th quarter. We are at the end game now. We got 3 minutes left. Columbus got to score twice. Again, they could have been in a position to only score once, but they decided to go for 1, and then didn't even get it anyway, which is hilarious, but yeah. Fourth and 9 for the Battlehawks. They'll just probably use this clock. You got to go for it. Remember, you can punt within 2 minutes. It's not within 2 minutes. So we'll see what ends up happening. Use their second timeout. Remember, Columbus only has 1 timeout left because they used one earlier than they used the challenge and get it. Yeah, this is definitely a fun game. It's also one where you just look at the coaches and you just like. So I mean, both coaches had what I would say are at least one truly indefensible decision. Now again, as we mentioned, not as bad as Kevin Sumlin's 2nd and 19 quarterback draw with your wide receiver with no timeouts left, but almost that bad. Not as bad as icing your own kicker. Actually, I take that back. Ricky's was that bad. Ricky's was as bad as that because he essentially did that. He iced his kicker so bad his kicker couldn't even try the field goal. So that was as bad. Not as bad as 2nd and 19 quarterback draw. No timeouts left, but as bad as the timeout icing your own kicker. And then Ted Ginn apparently doesn't know how to do math. Ted Ginn, hey, it's like the joke people made if you're a WWE fan, Solo Sikoa versus a 3rd grade math test. Ted Ginn versus a 3rd grade math test. If you need 9 points, and you're down 11. What do you go for? And he couldn't do it. Well, we'll see. 4th and 9 for the St. Louis Battlehawks. If they get this first down, it's literally game over. They would be stupid and not just kneel the ball. There's really no way they lose. They just kneel the ball if they get a first down here. Columbus has got to get a stop here, so we'll see. 3 receivers at the top of your screen, 1 at the bottom. Ball is snapped. Luis Perez is pressured. He's going to throw it away. Smart decision to throw it away. You're not going to lose any time by taking a sack or anything. Very smart decision to throw it away. Yeah, if you guys don't get the joke, Solo Sikoa, there was a lot of old tweets that got leaked out. Normally, like, you leak out, it's like, the Josh Allen, really bad stuff. Solo Sikoa just had a bunch of tweets that were about hating math, and everybody made that joke. Yeah, the Kirby Wilson Award. The one thing I hate about that is, like, there's no way something gets worse than catching someone. You called quarterback draw on 2nd and 19 at your own end zone with a wide receiver and a quarterback with no timeouts left while down a touchdown to win a game. What the hell? 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. Let's see if Columbus can pull this off. They get the 2-minute warning and 1 timeout. They will have to go for the 4th and 12 conversion. Let's see what they do here. In shotgun. Ball is snapped. Pressured. Great start. They took a half-yard gain. 2nd and 9. They got to go quick. You got to snap this ball for 2-minute warning. In shotgun. Taking too long. Ball snapped. Throws the check down. Trying to go out of bounds. Gets out of bounds. Gets about 4 yards. You are forced to go for it in 4th down no matter what. But we'll see. And everyone else is fighting for silver and bronze. And they're not going to get the snap off. 2-minute warning. Oh, man. Dude, this is... Ginn took the spread like the... oh, my God. Dumbest coach needs to... That one, maybe. The spread was 6.5. At least when I did this, it was 6.5. Like, when I did my game picks video. That's why I personally would be fine with this, with the Columbus touchdown. That would make it a really close one. That would make me get close enough to my game picks because they scored more than I already expected. Actually, no. If Columbus doesn't score at all, I'm okay with that. I either want them to score a touchdown or not score at all because I picked Columbus to score exactly 20 points. So, see, if they score a touchdown, I win either way. Either I win my prediction of they cover or I win my prediction of them scoring exactly 20 points. So I'm fine either way, honestly. Please, 6 point. Hey, we'll see. Columbus got to get this first down, though. This is the toughest one. They got to get the first down here. No lose situation. Yeah. Well, no. No one Ted Ginn will kick a field goal and then he'll lose the game by 8, and I'll sit there just sitting here like knowing that I was like this close to getting both of them or getting one of them. Joey Wheeler's our coach. Well, get Yugi, bro. Heart of the cards. Heart of the play call, bro. You know what you could have had? You could have had Peyton Pardee, the grandson of Jack Pardee, the original coach of the Gamblers. Dude, imagine, you were having a Jim Kelly bobblehead night, and you didn't decide to... oh, my God. 3rd and 5. Ball is snapped. McClendon throws to the left. It is caught. Incomplete. He was not able to hold on to it, so they're going to be forced to go for it here. This is game, right? If you do not get this, you lose. If you get this, you still probably lose, but you might not lose as bad. So we'll see. Though again, just like somebody said, the Showboats proved that anything is possible in terms of blowing a lead. 4th and 5. In shotgun. 3 receivers to the left. Honestly, I wouldn't mind a QB draw here. Ball is snapped. You know what the worst part of that is? Incomplete, by the way. The worst part of that is the complete left side of the field is open. If that was a legit QB draw, they would have actually gotten that. That's basically the game. Columbus only has 1 timeout left. Obviously, like I said, they were too slow, and now they burnt the 2-minute warning. So St. Louis, technically, it's not over yet. It's over. St. Louis is going to win this game. Which, again, DC fans, you are happy. If you're a DC fan, you are happy. This is what you wanted to see if you're a DC fan, because this means that DC can clinch a playoff spot tomorrow. I don't think the league even realizes this. The league hasn't posted anything about this, I don't think. I think I'm the only guy to post this, but DC can clinch a playoff spot tomorrow if they win the game. Because, like I said, if they win the game tomorrow, they hit 6 wins, and they have full tiebreaker over Birmingham and Houston, so there's no way physically that they can overtake them. So DC can clinch tomorrow. Just saying. So if you're a DC fan, man, you're 2 thumbs up. You're really happy about this right now. Again, technically you need a first down and then it's fully over, but it's essentially over. But if you get a first down, then it's officially over. Hand it off, rush up the... Oh, my God. And it's about an 8.5-yard gain. And that is pretty much the game right there. Let me go to my post. You know what? I'll take it, Wow, the spread was 4.5. My bad, okay. 2 of 3 to start the week, but I did predict the Aviators score exactly. Take that. Ball snap, they were hand up the middle, and that should be game over. They might call them a bit short, but either way, that's basically game over, so yeah. They get rid of again. Yeah. That's basically game over. Again, first down, it's over. So the St. Louis Battlehawks are going to win this one. Oh my God. Luis Perez gets the W in his first start, baby. They did give him first down, so that is game. They're in victory formation. Hey, DC needed this. DC can clinch tomorrow. They can be the first team to clinch tomorrow. So that's a big deal. DC can clinch a playoff spot tomorrow. Now, if you're a DC fan, I will say, you should be rooting for probably Birmingham and Houston. Because if you're a DC fan, you want to clinch a top 2 spot as fast as possible. Because if you clinch the 2 seed, you can just say F it and rest your starters. Yes, you want to play a 4 seed team. But, if you can, get a top 2 seed, guarantee a home playoff game, you'll take that, but yeah. Yeah, that's what I've been saying, right? I said this for like 2 weeks now. St. Louis was not a championship threat without a quarterback change. Now that they have made that change, they are a true championship contender. It is clear that it is, 1 DC, 2 St. Louis. Like, it's 1 DC, 2 St. Louis. I'll go probably like this far for Orlando, and then it's everybody else below that. I really don't think the rest of the team is that far. I think 4 to 8 right now is like this far apart. Whereas I think Orlando is pretty much like significantly third. Like I said, people are really overblowing their loss last week. They were the better team. They had 3 turnovers and still damn near won the game. They're a better team, and St. Louis, again, the loss against St. Louis is aging better every week, and it's not that big a deal you lost that one. But we'll see. Yeah, again, tomorrow, next stream is tomorrow. We will have DC. They should be able to clinch next week. I do not know for sure. I only looked this week. I look like every week. They should be able to clinch. I don't know for sure. But tomorrow, 1:15, yeah, I believe it's 1:15, will be the DC Defenders Louisville Kings stream, so make sure you're around for that if you want to be for there. As always, guys, hope you had a great time in this stream. Enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the stream. Think about becoming a member. As always, guys, have a great night.